Right, hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Welcome to the live stream for game week 4 of Fantasy Championship Manager. Sorry for the slight delay. We were just looking to see if we could find where Richard Rufus had gone, but we still haven't managed to find him. So we've decided to come on anyway. We think we've got a new guest. He's not related to me before anyone suggests he's my son or anything like that. This is FF Deacon. Nice to put a name to a face for a lot of you. You've seen a lot of his stuff on Twitter. He's been doing a lot of simming as part of a wider group. Did the Sim It to Win It podcast as well for season 2. So you should be familiar with him as a name, but not as a face. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's like a dads and lads live stream, isn't it? But no, I am older than the game for anyone who's going to ask. So and old enough to drink as well. So we can get into it.
Nice, you got the memo to come and dress smartly as well. Well, when I said be smart, you decided to have a shave rather than put your smart clothes on. So it's I'll dress smart and you look smart.
Not much shaving was going on, but yeah. Well, it looks like I've shaved at least.
Cool. So we've obviously seen the lineups now for game week 4. I guess we'll start by going through some of the teams. We won't go through all of the individual 11s because we'll be here all day and we'll miss the start of the fixtures. So we'll just go in. We'll go through them in sort of match order as they appeared on Twitter. So we'll start off with the sort of fairly crap game first, on probably one where no one's got any players in it. So we'll start off with Bradford v Bolton. Bradford, I don't think there's much change there. I don't think anyone's that familiar really with their lineup yet, but it seems like it's pretty much first choice to me. I don't know about you, Alex.
I think it's the same lineup as last week, is it not? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real surprises in there. Bolton, there is a couple of surprises though. Mostly Colin Hendry playing. His fitness was about 74% on the live stream, and this is played on the Saturday. So I think the expectation was at a 74% fitness, that would be too low or borderline too low to start. And I think the expectation was that he would drop out and Ricardo Schumacher would play in defence. That hasn't happened. So Hendry is in the back 3 as normal, and Schumacher has been asked to play in midfield for the injured Michael Carrick instead. So what that probably means is that Hendry's going off fairly soon, I would think, and Schumacher will be in defence, and we'll probably get Tim Sherwood coming on or something off the bench. But
yeah, I find that when these centre-backs end up in central midfield as well, it can be awkward for those that are looking for bonus. I'm not sure away at Bradford is the best game for centre-back bonus anyway, but sometimes it's a little more awkward, especially for certain things, those key headers and whatever else if they're in central midfield. But
I don't know what to make of. I don't know how long it will take Hendry to go off. He's like 37 and on low fitness. He may go off after 20 minutes. I don't know how long he'll survive. But anyway, he's starting for now. Nothing else really to talk about there. On to Coventry, Liverpool next. Coventry, Jermaine Genius in, playing right midfield again, despite not being very good on this game. The knock-on effect of that is David Thompson in the middle. Other than that, I think we're kind of at first. Oh no, we've got to change it right back. The new guy, Lawrence, Matt Lawrence, new signing, is in. Edworthy is out and on the bench. So I'm gonna take a punt now that moving forward, this is the first choice Coventry back 4. Not that anyone really owns any of them, I don't think, but Gilchrist, Williams, Walker, Lawrence, and then Eustace hasn't made it. I think he was 90% orange flagged, probably their best central midfielder, but he's not included. Let's say, and then Thompson's in the middle instead, and Genius. And then they're at home to Liverpool. I don't know if you want to talk through that, Alex, but anything noticed from this? Obviously, Kirkland's in goal again.
Yeah, and then Biscan in centre mid. I assumed when I was doing Sims pre-season that he'd be playing centre-back most of the time, but doesn't seem to be the case. I think, is this his second time not centre-back?
I think he's third. I own him. I think he only played centre-back last week in game week 3. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, no real massive surprises. I think if Biscan does go to central midfield, that's the back 4 they'll go with. Yeah, Kirkland in goal is, a little bit different, but other than that, everything's as expected. Obviously, Owen's starting, so you can expect him to go off after about 45 minutes. But other than that, it's, pretty standard.
Yeah, no Heskey for Liverpool. He was another one, I think, 90% orange flagged on the Sunday stream. He obviously hasn't made it either, and not on the bench either. So if you own him, your first sub will automatically be coming on. Stephen Wright is the other change in defence. So Risa finally plays at left back, and Stephen Wright's in at centre back to play with Hippier. So Liverpool, I think, still trying to work out what their best back 4 is. There's a few teams, I think, like that we'll get to Man United in a minute. There's still something there that's maybe not as we expected. So a few teams that maybe need another couple of game weeks to sort of completely work out what they're going to do. Next, we'll move on to Man City v Norwich. Obviously, a lot of people with at least one attacking asset for Man City in this game. Anything notable in their lineup?
No, well, it seems exactly how we'd expect. Nothing really too notable there. One Chop and Teato starting, which will be, like I said before the stream, I think Teato's ownership's really low. I'm not quite sure what it is, but One Chop will be highly captained. Yeah, it's fairly exactly what you expect. Just the Norwich side that makes me laugh with those three central midfielders with the arrows backwards. And I was just thinking to myself that last time, they played that? It was only against Liverpool, and they broke the clean sheets that everyone was looking for, but no one will be looking for Man City clean sheets, I don't think.
It's like the manager gets a bit fed up in the changing room, doesn't he, on the whiteboard, and thinks, "Oh, I'll just doodle a few arrows on here," and it's like someone's printed the wrong one or something. If Teato's ownership is low, that's one for the simmers, because Makoko, who put some simming data around players on Discord, I think had Teato as the highest average point scorer in his sims this week. So if anyone's got him, they may have been sort of lured into doing it from that sim data. I got him in, not completely because of that sim data, but I already had my eye on him anyway, and that just confirmed what I was planning to do. So he's quite a big differential tonight, maybe based on the sim data, if that is the case.
And then he got 13 returns in the sims I did Man City this week, and you got I think 13 returns and 25 goals and 8 assists, if I can remember rightly. So it came out right towards the top of the performers. I can imagine it's inflated slightly. I think he had 2 penalties, so obviously that inflates ever so slightly, but I'd expect him to do well in this game. I haven't quite gauged how well wingers do against this flat back five. It's hard to tell, but generally everyone does well against Norwich, so it doesn't really make any difference.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a lot to go on with this Norwich formation. I don't think we've seen that in the first 2 seasons from anyone else from memory. I think Everton have got some wild away formation sometimes. I don't think it's quite this one. It might be, to be fair, but they definitely had a bit of a wild one. And then the other game here is Ipswich v Leicester. Bad news for Gary Doherty owners. Sorry, Ed, if you're on the live stream, because he's on a free hit this weekend, and about 15 minutes before the deadline, I said he asked what I should do. And I told him to get Doherty in because he's probably playing up front, and he's not made the starting lineup, unfortunately. So I can see the punt on him, though, but that's the risk you run with Doherty. He could be defence up front or on the bench, and in this game, he's on the bench.
No Breen as well. You can see they're chopping changing those centre-backs a bit. I think, obviously, Breen being 4 million probably indicated to people before the season he wouldn't play that much. But he does seem to crop up every now and then. And if Doherty's benched, you maybe would have guessed that Breen would have got out there, but no. I think this might be the back three we might come to expect for, say, 20, 25 games this season now. I'm not quite sure what Ipswich are doing with their centre-backs, but I wouldn't be keen on owning Doherty.
They're quite keen, aren't they, to play Prutton somewhere, and it seems like they played him as a DM last week, which is probably his best position, but they don't tend to like that formation with the DM in it. So he's up in defence almost by default, and we've got that again today with the up arrow. The other interesting thing with them is Fotheringham finally starts. He was signed in the summer from Celtic. I think a lot of people thought he might go straight in to their midfield three, but we haven't seen him yet. I think on paper, the midfield three here, Redknapp, Holland, Fotheringham would have been what I thought would be their first choice. So this is the first time we get to see it, to see how good it actually is. And unsurprisingly, Pullen is in goal after Brannigan retired, unsurprisingly. Or not retired, just left, didn't he?
Released, I think, was he?
Released, yeah. Played 2 games, did okay, and they released him. Thanks for your service, mate. But that's Ipswich. And on to Leicester, who they're obviously playing against. McAnuff out wide again. Scowcroft as a sort of dropped forward again, running up to the striker. I think that's fairly as you would have expected from Leicester.
Yeah, I think those that saw McAnuff up front who got their hopes up. I did see a few of the newer players in Discord saying about, McAnuff out of position, but I wouldn't expect it to be a regular occurrence. He'll probably stick out wide most of the time. But it's nice to see him go out of position. It's an interesting thing to watch out for because it may happen again.
Oh, it's the excitement of owning those sorts of players, isn't it? If you've got someone who can play as a striker, for example, it's something to look out for every week, isn't it? That am I going to get lucky?
I think he's quite good value actually this season. I think if you are wildcarding in the next, or even next week or any week forwards, Everton have some pretty good Everton, Leicester have an all right fixtures, and I think he's all right for his price. If that's
got a lot at home, haven't they? I think 5 of the next 6 after this are at home for.
Yeah, I think
Leicester.
so. Something like
that. Cool. On to Newcastle. Stephen Hughes has made it despite being 90%. I think he was one day away from being fully fit with some injury, but he's made it. Olivier Bernard again playing left midfield out of position, so that's sticking. But we weren't sure if that was a temporary thing, but it seems like it's holding. That he's going to keep playing left midfield. And then the other real change for him is Dabizas is in at centre back because Griffin and Holt are obviously both banned after their game week 1 red card. Probably not too much to note about that. Stephen Hughes, probably the big news there that he is playing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people said about Veron maybe having a nice matchup if it was Gary Speed in central midfield. So it's a little bit disappointing, but Veron's Veron. I'm not sure it would have made a hell of a lot of difference, but it might make a slight amount, but we'll never know.
Talking about matchups, one interesting thing people might not have noticed, I'm pretty sure York and Van Nistelooy for Man United have switched sides. I'm pretty sure Van Nistelooy starts most games as the left forward and York on the right.
Yeah, I think that's right. I didn't spot that, actually.
Yeah, for this game, they've switched around, which may not be ideal because that puts Van Nistelooy against Dabizas, who's probably actually the better Newcastle defender. So they may have backfired that move. I'm sure David O'Leary maybe didn't take that into account. But so that's something to look out for, though, because Van Nistelrooy has obviously started the season quite well. I don't know if it'll make any difference if he plays on the other side, but we'll get a learning about that in this game. The other big change for Man United is no Roque Jr. It looks a little bit of general rotation. Again, like we said with Liverpool, still getting used to best teams. So Roque Jr. is out.
3 defenders on the bench as well, I think. Yeah, 3 defenders on the bench. So if you've got...
I think that Mopid's the left back from memory.
Oh, is he? Oh.
He might be, I think, yeah. So you might have
So if you have an attacking asset, they'll probably stay on the pitch. Or if one of them goes off injured or gets a red card, then it could be some wacky lopsided formation and you're suddenly not in a good position. But yeah, if you've got an attacking asset, they'll probably stay on the pitch. So that's always a good thing.
You want that Phil Neville playing right wing, don't you? That's what you want.
Yeah. I think obviously Nedved playing left midfield because of the injuries and stuff, but he's one that potentially could get rotated out when everyone's fit. But it's I like him in this game, so I think it's good to see him play.
Yeah, I think he probably is just ahead of Giggs at the moment for that role. So one to maybe consider on moving forward for transfers and wildcards, etc. On to Middlesbrough, Watford. I know you was trying to... I don't own Ricardo, Alex, but I know you tried to scare me a couple of days ago by saying maybe this is a bigger rep game with Greening playing up front. Has anyone considered this might be a bigger rep game than that? Unfortunately for me, it's not. Ricardo is playing. You got me kind of excited that he might miss out here. Ricardo might get Greening and Bernhard or Nemeth or something up front, but we haven't. Ricardo's in.
The reason I said it was because I was simming this game and it took me ages to get Greening to play up front. I was like having to send Whelan off to Olympiacos and I was having to move everything around to try and get him to actually start up front. Eventually I did, but then it did just occur to me. I thought, well, the leak says Greening up top, which is great, but it doesn't say anything about Rickard playing. But obviously he is, so it's good for the owners. And I imagine he's top captain. I don't know. We don't have.
Yeah, I don't know if we won't get that at least for a little while. If we are going to get, I don't think we do find that information out, unfortunately, yet. But he's going to be in the discussion, isn't he, to be top captain? Yeah. Bad news for Greening as well. If you have got him, they have got 2 strikers on the bench: Middlesbrough, Noel Whelan and Arturo Bernhard. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So if Greening is playing a 7 average rating, for example, then there is a risk that he may go off. Other than that, Borough look first choice. On to Watford, who obviously they're playing against. They've managed to scrabble a defence together, it looks like, Watford. I'm not quite sure who Stuart Morrison is playing at left back. Is he a left back? How old is he? How good is he? I've got absolutely no idea. So it could be a good game for Zapata against him.
Yeah, I think, I'm not quite sure what they'll do with Zapata and whether or not he'll end up front. To be honest, I probably should have looked at how their tactics worked when it was Greening, Rickard up top. But I imagine that if Rickard goes to right midfield, then that could be good for those Rickard owners. Another opportunity there. Yeah,
to play against this guy. They have managed to put 2 defenders on the bench, Watford, as well, despite being heavily depleted. So at least they were expecting, obviously, more carnage at the back today. At least they're covered with some defensive options there. Next, we'll go to Tottenham v Leeds, I think. So
Yeah.
Tottenham, pretty much as you would expect. Maybe Anderson's injured, isn't he? So Simon Davies is pushed out to the right of midfield for this. Quinton Fortune back into play in the middle. Other than that, they look pretty much first choice.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything else. They're one of those teams that under McLeish, they're quite rigid with their tactics. They tend to stick to the 4-4-2, just like this. Other than with injuries, I wouldn't expect much else. Ziege still being at left midfield, I think makes him quite an interesting asset. But Tottenham they're in season 3, they're just awful.
Just one thing to point out quickly, if anyone like me has got Sereni and Totter as their 2 keepers and plan to stay that way moving forward, Totter hasn't actually been on the bench yet. It's Cliff Mardulier again. Now, he's not priced up in the game. So obviously one of the perks of having both the keepers for the same team is that if one gets injured, for example, or something else happens, you've got the second choice. It happens a lot with Coventry. I think people have got Headman and Bray double up, which is understandable. Yeah, but here, if something does happen to Sereni, you might not have Device because it looks like Mardulier is the backup. But so we can't have him in the game because he's not been priced up. So a little wink to Panda and
being priced up as we speak.
Yeah, maybe we need to get Cliff Mardulier priced up. But so just to be aware of that moving forward. And then on to Leeds next. Ian Hart starts. Obviously, the big news for owners.
Yeah, not really many surprises. Obviously, Viduka's playing. Fail on the bench. I don't know if some people potentially we expected him to start, but it's always a risk, isn't it? They rotate in those 2 positions quite a bit. But yeah, not much of a surprise. Maybe Hart's locked his place in, but I really wouldn't get your hopes up. I think if you're wildcarding anytime soon, you own him. Get rid because you've had your fun, but I don't think he'll be locking a place down anytime soon. But maybe, you never know.
No Harpilsing on the bench either, just in case anyone was wondering. So Hart should get the full
morale drops.
So yeah, no Kjell today. So yeah, the core has won the battle to play central midfield with Bowyer. So I've got a little bit of information to come at half time as well to look forward to. That there's some Leeds are interested in quite a good asset in this game. Someone from a different league. So not a done deal yet, but some interest. We'll reveal more at half time. So something to look forward to there. Possible new signing coming to Leeds, maybe before the next game week. But as they hasn't signed yet. And then also on his side, Aston Villa v Sunderland. I got captain Dion Dublin playing in this game. So I'm quite optimistic. He's got a hat-trick in his fixture last year and it's very good for him in Sims. What I didn't want to see though is there no defender on the bench. So anyone's got Dion Dublin, if something happens to a defender, any of them, I've got a feeling Dublin's going to end up in the defence because if it's a right back, Melberg will move out. If it's a left back, Barry will move out. If it's a centre back, Dublin will just come straight back. And I'll imagine Balaban will come on. So maybe a bit of a sweaty evening for Dublin owners because he may be in defence for 3/4 of it if we suffer an injury at the back. So I'm a little bit nervous. Did not want to see no Richard Rufus on the bench, for example.
Yeah, I think he's one that people are going to be quite frustrated with because I think a few people have probably moved him out now after he's missed the other game. But yeah, it must be quite frustrating. I quite liked him. I thought he was the best 4.5 defender before the season. But the moment everyone takes him out, he'll come straight back in. It's just guaranteed, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think you can have him moving forward. There's a lot of other 4.5s in the game that are obviously a lot more nailed and arguably equally as good. They haven't got the promise of penalties that maybe Rufus had, but maybe he hasn't got that anymore either. Because obviously Alan Wright took the one last week and he's kept his place again, Alan Wright. So one to keep an eye on as well with him moving forward, that he could be one to monitor on wildcards, etc. if he starts a run of games. They've got Sunderland at home who look like they're now first choice. Changing goal, Mark Poom is in on debut, new signing. But other than that, it looks like first choice to me at Sunderland.
Yeah, no real surprises. I mean, you get the odd player like Medina or Sibben playing, but other than that, no, this is kind of the team we'd expect. And Poom, for any of those people, was it season 1 where they had a triple game week and everyone owned it?
The Derby, yeah,
Derby had a triple game week.
Yeah, I triple captained him.
Yeah, same I think.
I think.
So everyone who played in season 1 has to triple captain him when Sunderland get a double. It's just the rules.
Then obviously only 9 games this week because Chelsea Blackburn has been postponed because they won't rearrange the fixture. Obviously couldn't play 2 games in 2 days, Chelsea, but rather than just move the game from the Monday to the Saturday, they just cancelled it. which maybe isn't helpful for people holding Blackburn players, especially. But we have got Arsenal, Everton as the last. I should say Everton, Arsenal, Everton are the home team, aren't they? Pablo Paz in defence for Everton. He's another one, a bit like Prutton, who seems to get shoved around in all sorts of positions, and they want to play him somewhere. A bit like Prutton, he's also in defence this week. Campbell and Christie start up front again, so Seratos still waiting to get into this team. But other than that, I think they're kind of as expected. I think it's Stubbs that's missed out, I think, to allow Paz to play in defence. Was he the third defender normally?
Yeah. Seratos seems to fall off a cliff in season 3. Even in Sims, he seemed to just vanish. I'm not sure. I remember when he came in and he had a little bit of hype around him. He was priced, what was he, something 7 million in last season.
Yeah, he was.
But and to be honest, he is quite good in game when he plays. He puts up some decent numbers if he gets regular games, but he seems to just vanish in season 3. There must be a reason. I'm sure somebody knows, but I wouldn't expect him. I think that front two will stick, and I quite like Christie as an option if you're wildcarding in the next few weeks. Everton have pretty good games, so I'd probably have him in, especially at his price. He's quite well priced.
Yeah, he's my cheap striker of choice. I know Sibon's down there. A lot of people are getting excited about, but I think I'm marginally favouring Christie, but we'll get onto that next week. Arsenal then back to a normal 4-4-2, so no drop striker. So Jeffers back in for Bergkamp from last week. They have managed to find a spot for all 3 of their wingers as well this week. So Perez, slightly rare game for him in central midfield. I know he can play there with the up arrow, but you normally see him out wide. But it's Lundberg and Tikhonov on the wings for Arsenal and Perez with an up arrow.
Yeah, that's the only real surprise. Perez is, I don't know, I must say I can't tell you if he does better in central midfield or out on the wing. I assume with wing backs it's a little bit disappointing that he's not out wide, but you know, he's a great player in games. So if you own him, it's good that he even starts because it's a bit of a minefield in that Arsenal midfield. And when they settle down, I can imagine, well, they don't actually really ever settle down. I can imagine Perez being in and out a little bit as he has been in the past couple of seasons.
Cool. Just so 5 minutes till kickoff now. Just dip into the chat. A few people are starting to put their suggestions down for first goal scorer. Martin maybe taking a mick a little bit. Ian Hart own goal he's gone for, which is I'm sure will please quite a lot of people this week. Some interesting shouts. Postman Johnson for 3 minutes there for Travo. How extra. Billy Hadaway, I'd like to smoke what he's smoking. He's gone for Dean Richards in the Tottenham game. Gary Smith on my wavelength, doubling after 2 minutes. Love that, Gary. So I've got him captain this week. So hopefully that comes true. A few shouts for How Extra in the chat. Obviously, people thinking that Bradford are going to do okay against Bolton. Ronnerid's gone for Fotheringham on debut. That would be up middle finger, wouldn't it, to Ipswich for not playing him for the first couple of weeks if he then scores on debut. What are you going to say, Alex? Who are you going for first goal?
Who am I going for first goal? I'm going to go, I think, Phillips. Don't know what.
Phillips?
12th minute. I'm going to wait for ages for it. I don't know. I just have a feeling about Phillips for some reason. I think he's being overlooked this season, and I think he's going to punish people who don't own him eventually. Well, he's done all right so far, actually, hasn't he? He had a good week last week. So, yeah, I'll go for Phillips. Why not?
Andy Martin's expecting a right struggle of a stream for us too, because he's gone for Stephen Wright in the 33rd minute. Can you imagine 33 minutes of no goals? That's going to be incredibly fun for us if that happens. We've got plenty to talk about, haven't we? If we've got a big list of stuff to discuss if we have big dead periods with no goals. So I'd like to think we'll get through that. I'll go Alan Armstrong first goal. I think Ipswich home to Leicester.
Yeah, big middle finger to those Doherty owners. I don't think there will be many, but I've just been called a sim legend and a podcast extraordinaire. Wow, makes me sound very important.
How much have you paid Jack Bones? You've got to give him some money for that, haven't you? I think.
Yeah, it's a plant in the chat because I feel important.
I don't know if we can look at our teams, Captain. If you want to put those up quickly, we've got 2-3 minutes till the off. We can have a quick chat through what we've done this week. Say for me, I've gone doubling captain. I brought him in for a -4 for Boxic. Obviously had to go because he was injured. And I took the punt on taking Lucas Neal out for Danny Tiato. So I'm quite well set up front this week. I'm quite optimistic about doubling one chop Larson. I think that could go well. But obviously there's the likes of Van Nistelrooy, Ricard and stuff as well, who I think a lot of people have higher hopes for if they own them. I think it is one of those weeks where there's like 6 or 7 strikers that kind of equally stand out. You can throw a blanket over all of them. And you couldn't really make a real valid case that one's particularly better or worse than one of the other ones in that group.
Yeah, I think Dublin's the only one in Sims that came out a little short of the others, but he's just a monster in game. Like it doesn't really matter on the fixture. He can do really well, especially at home. He's just a great player. I've got a front three of Larson, Ruud, and One Chop, who I bought in from -4 with Diatta. I took out Lee Hughes and Dyer. I just thought, why not go play the fixture in front of you? Norwich at home, it's such a good game. I captain One Chop. A bit boring and safe. I was so tempted by Ruud because I think this away at Newcastle game could be a really good one. But yeah, Ruud is my vice captain, and yeah, like you, I'm pretty happy with my front three. It's Rickard who we both just want to go off injured in the first few minutes.
I know there's a few steals of Martin last week in despair when Man United conceded. I think he'll be a Rickard goal tonight that sends me and you into despair. I think he's the highly owned player that neither of us have got. So I think there'll be a few still images floated around Twitter tomorrow if he has a good night, Rickard. So yeah, he's the one to worry about. Who else anyone else to flag up, particularly from your Sims? Are you expecting good things of in this game week?
Well, just the stand. Yeah, trying to think off the top of my head. Larson came up great in Sims. I think Zepeda's been overlooked by people. I'm not sure what his ownership's at, but I don't see him in many sort of the teams in Discord and stuff. So I expect big things from him. I don't think there's going to be too many surprises, but we've kicked off, so maybe we will get a big surprise. Villa have started positively. Here we go.
Go on, Dion. 2 minutes before get your goal, and you can go back and stand in defence for the other 88 minutes when something happens.
It's just going to be typical,
last week we had about eight of these, didn't we, to start the game week off? Everyone attacking, so that's 3 home teams. There's Liverpool going away as well. Maybe quite an open game. Coventry, Liverpool, 2 teams attacking, and David Thompson against his former club. First up,
Coventry. Kirkland save for those. I doubt anyone owns him yet, but someone may. If anyone wildcarded this week, they might have gone for him or on the. But Coventry, Liverpool came up with quite a few goals actually. Coventry, I think, averaged just over 1. Which is no surprise for a team at home. And Liverpool actually scored a few goals away from home, which they sometimes have a bit of a mixed bag, aren't they?
So it's everyone, a few more going through there. Man City, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Man United. No one started defensively, or not at least not what we've seen. So that's optimistic as well. Not only have we got quite a lot of attacking teams, no one seems to be going overly defensive, at least. Early touch of Cullen on debut. Tipping one around the post after 2 minutes. There we go. Big moment on. It's like I wrote the comms, isn't it? Said it, and it kind of flags up like 5 seconds after.
It's the inside circle of ChampMan that just know the comms off by heart by now. He's ran this game so many times, he just knows what's going to happen. Bolton free kick.
Almost a return for a long-awaited return for Ricardo Gardner owners there. I think he's been one of the bigger frustrations for the first few weeks. People got him for game week 2, obviously no-showed, and people have had to persevere with him into this week. But they almost got an assist there for a cross for Ramberg. Here comes after
many owned. Captain sent us some ownership stats actually. Should we see? Is he in defenders? He's not even in the. Oh yeah, he is. He's in the top 10 most owned defenders at 21%. So quite a few people do own him.
A bit of frustration from Reed there, ticking off with quite a basic through ball that he's overhit. Unfortunately for him, couldn't do a Lucas Neal from last week who overhit one and it went in the top corner, didn't it, for Blackburn? But not for ticking off here.
Yeah, it's you're a big Lucas Neal fan coming into the season, but I can imagine a lot of people are going to be moving away from Blackburn assets in the next few weeks because their fixtures are not particularly great, are they?
I think at the moment I'm like, so we might as well touch on this now why it's come up. I am still like 90% likely to wildcard next week, and in my current preferred draft, I've got about 4 drafts on the go. There'll probably be 44 by this time next week, but 4, and my current one's got 2 Blackburn in it. So obviously in preparation a bit for the double, but I didn't think their fixtures were horrendous. So I think Burton O'Brien's more than valid 4.5 million hold for a while, so he's in. And I'll probably have a defender as well. That is cross for Danny Murphy for Hippier. Early save for Hedman.
He's plagued a lot of people. The non-owners have been punished so far this season. He's put in some big performances. I own him. be honest, Coventry are a terrible defence in this game. The fact he's done so well is a bit lucky. I can imagine it will even out eventually, but yeah, I'm happy with a few save points and another clean sheet, and we can get rid of wildcard.
It's the season 3 Yussi, isn't he? Plays for a bad team, will fluke a few clean sheets and get loads of save points and bonus points in the process, and load of 9-pointers. Yussi did it to me all last year, and it seems like Headman's already started down the same path.
It's very easy to stubbornly avoid things like keepers and defenders, thinking, oh yeah, it'll even out, they'll start conceding, and then they never do, and it's too late because you're not going to make a goalkeeper transfer in this game, really. Oh,
another save from Headman. Owen this time. I'm still going to keep calling him the donut. He still hasn't been revealed as the donut on the Masked Singer yet, but I'm still convinced it's him. So I'm still going to carry on calling him the donut for now. Running rings around the Coventry defence there. Thank you. Didn't see Colm coming up with that one in the chat, did he? I beat him to that one. I'll take that
one written down, haven't you?
Someone's calling you Andrew Delly in the chat, saying that you're basically a dead ringer for Luke. I'm guessing that's what that 2-finger signs means in the chat. That
I don't think Luke could take that very well. Maybe he would take that kindly. I'm not sure. Dead ringer in looks, personality, definitely not ability at ChampMan. I'll tell you that much.
Well, we'll see if you are, Luke. I'm going to get up and go for a piss at half time. So we'll see how well you do.
Do the one-man solo commentary. Just rattle off just some random ChampMan names. Make them up. I'm sure most people will believe me. They're real players.
Well, the goal. There you go. What a surprise! Arsenal away. You concede the first goal of the game week again. Yeah, I've seen this before. Roberto Di Matteo. I think it was the Campbell v Campbell battle that set that up. Kevin against Sol, and the ball broke. Yeah, I think just a loose ball dropped down, and Di Matteo. Maybe it was a goal reminiscent of the 97 FA Cup final against the Middlesbrough, when he scored against Middlesbrough.
You've been waiting to bring up a game that I definitely don't remember.
I've got in early, remembering games before your time. I forgot
before my time. But if we can bring up something like the 2010 World Cup, maybe that will do.
You must have seen the goal though, after like 40 seconds when he hits you off the underside of the crossbar. Chelsea v Middlesbrough FA Cup final. No. Okay, you can watch that one on YouTube after you've rewatched this back.
I've got my pen and paper to write down all the games of football I've got to watch.
Early chance for Leeds. Henrik Larsson's clipped the post, much to everyone's frustration, and they're straight back in again with the core, and it's Larsson in there again as well. And it's 2 missed chances for Larsson in the space of a minute.
It's a shame it's not Sky and we're getting those shots on target, isn't it?
I don't know what.
I'm sure that'll be added next season.
It's my striker versus my goalkeeper, not the obviously scenario you want too much in games or any sort of fantasy game really. But I don't know what's the better deal. I don't know what would give me more points, Larsson scoring or Sereni keeping a clean sheet. So I don't really know what I'm cheering for in this game.
A few Larsson shots and save points, and a couple of Larsson goals I think could go down. Well, I can't imagine Spurs will keep a clean sheet here, but Larsson did do really well in Sims, which surprised me quite a bit because he tends to be a bit of one of those up and down people who does well, but fleetingly. So his average numbers are not always right up there with some of the strikers, but maybe season 3 is his season.
Greening just forced a save from that. Alan Boxic would have scored that.
Yeah, he would have done.
That happens when you play a second-rate midfielder up front, but forced a save from the goalkeeper.
I don't want Greening to do well because he'll expose us Simmers, because we've all been saying that he's not, all to cut out to be just because he's up front, and then he's going to go and do really well, and no one's going to believe us ever again.
Sim data is always a pinch of salt, right? People shouldn't believe it in full. They should take it as a guide without believing everything that comes out of it.
No, or I'd be winning every year, and I'm definitely not. So if that doesn't prove that it's more or less just a guide. But last week was a really good week for Simmers. Our Sims did really well, and some other Simmers did really well, if I can remember rightly. So maybe season 3 is the season for it. But it's going to go up and down.
Here comes Coventry with a rare break forward. Jermaine Genius beating people out. He scored as well.
The league told us.
Clean sheet wipeout for Liverpool. Me for Biscan, you for Hippie. I'm sure other people have got either of those two or Risa.
I don't. don't own a Liverpool defender.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had Hippier. Sorry.
I was
mate,
going
you
to
got
say,
that
do you
wrong.
remember my team better than I do?
No,
Sure, I don't
no.
own Hippier.
But yeah,
But no,
Jermaine Genius, with his bad stats, has managed to score past England. Got England number one, Chris Kirkland.
well, they did tell us, didn't they? No, I don't own Hippier. I had to check. I own 3 defenders who play in red, and so I was kind of picturing that I did, but I don't own Hippier. But
Pep Talks worked it out in the chat. He reckons that Arsenal shouldn't have sold Vieira in season 1. Yeah, they shouldn't have done. That's a very strange decision they made there. Nice line from Henry Sampson. That's the one show by Genius there. Yeah, like that. Anyone who watches BBC?
Oh God, I'm not a Jermaine Genius fan myself. Does my head in, he does.
He turned up at Villa and barely played a game, and then fell down a water sprinkler, I think, on the pitch that was watering, and was injured for about 7 months. Not sure we ever saw him again. So yeah, I haven't got. He played quite well for Villa for a couple of games. I wasn't sure about him before we signed him, and then he came and he did look to have a little bit of a touch of class about him compared to our other midfielders at the time. I think he only played about 3 or 4 games, and then the sprinklers have been on pre-game, and during the game he fell down one, trod on one, did something, and was injured for ages. So
yeah, he's one of those players that you imagine probably didn't put in all the effort possible when he was injured, and that's why he was out so much. Just doesn't strike me as the type.
Oh, something happened on the video printer. I missed it. Henry Sampson's seen it. Captain's put in the chat. Shush, no one saw it. I didn't see it. I was too busy talking. So, is it this?
All those Guardso owners liking that shot. Another player can join the collection of ones I've never heard of in my whole life.
Yeah, let's get on to that next then. So you how old were you when this game came out? 3? 2?
3. I was 3 when this game came out.
3 when this game came out. And you said to me earlier that you didn't. There's a lot of the players in this game you've actually never seen play.
No. It's like I'm being grilled. It's like an episode of Mastermind. Can you name all the players you can remember? No. I know them now, but no, beforehand I didn't.
You don't. I think you said to me you didn't remember Veron playing for Man United in real life, for example.
No, but like you said to me, I can imagine that most Man United fans don't really want to remember him playing for them anyway. He was at Chelsea, wasn't he? And he was out on loan loads.
Yeah, he went to Chelsea after Man United.
Yeah, so I do recall that, and I recall him playing for Inter. I used to watch. Was it on Eurosport, Italian football back then?
Yeah.
And this was after it was on Channel. See, I don't even remember it being on. Was it on ITV or Channel 5? Which one was it on?
I used to watch Italian football on Channel 4 back in the day.
Channel 4, so that's before my time.
Yeah, way before. Gazzetta dell'Italia or something. It was Gazzetta or something, yeah. When I must have been about 7 or 8, I think. Just went through a few things, went through the screen there. Booking for Jerry Taggart, for anyone that's got him. And Zima Abbey, trying to build on his 2 goals away to Liverpool. Has missed the chance as well.
Is Deacon a Wolves fan? Yes, there's no other reason any man would own a Wolves shirt other than being a Wolves fan. Or Portuguese, potentially. You might own a...
Unlucky for you, they should have probably got promoted last year at the expense of Norwich, was it? I think they played in the playoff. No, they played Man City in the playoff final, didn't they? I think that's how it worked. But I think most people thought they had one of the better squads in the Championship in this game. So I think there was a lot of people expecting them to come back make an appearance in the Prem. You might have heard of some of those Wolves players in this game.
I should be ashamed of myself for being so young, apparently. Yeah. I don't. Saganowska Hattie. No, I don't. I don't remember any of that. Mark Viduka plays for Newcastle in my mind, not Leeds.
Oh wow! I forget the order of his career after Leeds. He was at Newcastle and Borough for a bit, I think.
Yeah, I remember. See, I remember some of it, but also Wolves weren't in. Well, Wolves weren't in the first division. First division, Plymouth was the first division then, but we were in the first division for most of my childhood. We came up for 2 years, and then 1 year. Then we came up for 1 year, finished 20th, and then after that, I don't remember many Premier League players.
Chance of Rebroff there for Tottenham getting forward, saved by Paul Robinson.
Pushing that away. From the Midlands. Everyone wants my social security number and everything else.
You have to be from the Midlands, I think, to support Wolves, don't you? You can't be like me. You can't be a Londoner supporting Aston Villa, right? That doesn't really happen to Wolves.
No. Well, no, I'm not from Wolverhampton, though, but my dad basically said you support Wolves or you don't like football. Those are your two choices. At many points of my childhood, it was the same thing.
My dad tried to get me to do that with West Ham. That's where I'm from. Grew up very close to West Ham, but I was a rebellious kid, should we say. And the first ever game I went to was West Ham Villa, and Aston Villa won. So what logic's that to like a 5-year-old?
Who probably didn't know which team was which.
Yeah. Here comes Coventry again. So Lee Hughes out to Gilchrist. I'm going to try and get Joachim in behind.
Don't want Hughes to bag now. I've got rid of him. There you go. All those Telfer owners assisting a goal.
Yeah, what a return for Paul Telfer.
Can't imagine there's many.
Yeah, outrageous start for Coventry. I know people. I think there was someone on the Spaces earlier who was considering selling Lee Hughes for one chop, which I could see the logic in for a -4. But I'm hoping that I've forgotten who it was, but I'm hoping he persevered. One, because Hughes has got better fixtures moving forward, and then obviously he's now got an attacking return as well. So you still got him. You had him, didn't you?
No, I got rid for one chop, but I didn't. I wasn't that keen on their fixtures. Coventry don't do amazing for goals away from home, so I was kind of a bit like, let's go for it. But yeah, typical. I actually really like him in game though. So if Coventry have a good run, I'd definitely push him because he does often over the 20 games of Sims. He puts up double digits quite often. Yeah, he's a good player.
Here come Leicester with Scowcroft trying to find Sturridge, who's going one of these halfway line mazy runs, it looks like.
Be nice to have a goal from a game that we...
Be nice to have a goal from Leicester. They don't really score, do they?
No, not really. And I just see Tarico's name and all I can imagine is him getting sent off or something. This seems like the season for red cards.
FPL Trinity's put bin can. Yeah, I don't know. I have him Bishcan. I would still consider him having him on my wild card next week. Maybe not if I go for Kirkland. I don't know if I'll go for 2 Liverpool defenders, but I still think moving forward you'll probably want 1 Liverpool defender. They are one of the safer teams for clean sheets and centre backs to get bonus points. So this might just be one of those bad days.
I think this is the slight advantage that players who've maybe played for a little longer get, is the fact that when things like this happen and they start to struggle, that people will jump off the Liverpool defenders. They're arguably them, United, Chelsea, best 3 and Leeds are the best defences in the game. So I'd hold on to Liverpool defenders myself, especially Biscan and Hippier. They're just bonus magnets. Reese seems to be slightly popular, but he's a bit too rotation prone for me.
Oh, big counter attack there from Sunderland. Broke on their own defending a free kick, and Phillips on the end of it. It was quite interesting from Villa. They decided to let Melberg take the free kick and Lee Hendry to win the header. Here comes Hadji.
Oh, he's the plague of my life. I push Lee Hendry and Hadji goes mad. But no, they're both great in Sims. They're such good value. I'm surprised they've both been priced as low as they have, to be honest. I think they're 2 more underpriced players, but maybe they have some bad years. Oh.
Not much going on for Bradford, but here they come.
Here's the Hoekstra goal for those people in chats. No.
What's the right back doing on the end of it? Walsh. Ooh. Yeah, big. I think Bradford played a really attacking right back. That's not what Bolton need. With Colin Hendry sat there, Richard Dunn.
What's Colin Hendry now in this game?
I think he's 37. I think I deliberately made a note of him on Sunday's stream, knowing I was doing this, thinking that we just have to talk about him a little bit, Colin Hendry. So yeah, I made a note. So yeah, 37, and I think it was 74 or 76% fitness.
They have quite an old defence, don't they, Bolton, from season 1 going forwards. You often do see some of them drop out occasionally, or even go go elsewhere if they sign someone else. But yeah, unlucky for.
Who's there?
But nervous. Oh, here we go. Red card heaven.
Well, one less point or 2 less points for all the captainers. So yeah, happy with that.
Yeah. But we all know that we're not going to get anything from Ruud till the 88th minute anyway. So
we'll definitely have a chance for Man United in the last minute, won't we?
Oh, Larson.
Goes Larson. Quiet start again here. I think last week there was like 6 games had a goal in the first 15 minutes or something. I know we've had 3 goals, but
no one cares about any of these goals. I don't. Well, Lee Hughes is probably owned by a few. Other than that,
I think a few people were struggling to see where the clean sheets were coming from this week. I know there's a long way to go still here, but I probably expected more fireworks than this in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, there weren't many clean sheets that I would have backed confidently this week.
Berger. Hedman.
I couldn't really pick any out. I guess Man City, Norwich are not great away from home, but Man City are not the best team at home. But yeah, I wouldn't have picked any quite obvious clean sheets out. So I do think if you were on free hit, you mentioned that someone was on free hit, but I've forgotten who you said now.
Yeah, Ed. It was Ed.
Ed, yeah, I wouldn't be stacking at the back if I had been on free hit because I don't think there's that many opportunities.
Hedman's having a good game. I think that might be, it's at least 3 saves. It might even be 4 or 5 already for Hedman. So save points already coming in and still the clean sheet. Chance there for Lundberg. Thank you, Andy Martin. 14.5 million for a yellow card. Enjoy that, owners. I hope they are.
Yeah, I'm an owner. So I'm enjoying it. But I think he was my punt up to wild card, but I'm slowly pushing my wild card further away, which is worrying me a bit because 14.5 is a lot of money to hold in your team.
Comes Sunderland with Gary Teal.
Craig is cursed for goals. He is.
Yeah. I think we've worked out the problem now. I think maybe I'll take a few weeks off after this one, see if it's legit or if it's just a one-off. I can't believe all these strikers haven't scored between them in 20 minutes. I thought one of them would have scored by now.
No, not a Leeds. Hedman on for a 12-pointer. That'd be good. He just feels like one of those players that is just gonna play, I guess, for the rest of the season, isn't he? But I think that
was Telekovic.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Spurs are actually scoring goals. It's surprising. I'd have even backed Leeds for a clean sheet in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a clean sheet wipeout for Ian Hart owners and others. If you've got other Leeds defenders, well, I'm not sure they're that highly owned. But
no, I've got Hart, but we don't own him for those clean sheets. That's what you say. That's what you say when you own Trent in FPL. You don't own him for the clean sheets.
You own Hart to make the benching decisions easier because it doesn't really matter who you put as the first sub they're coming on, right? That's why you have Hart.
Well, I only had a 1-man bench of Nolan, so I was really praying for Hart to start, and he did. But
here comes Middlesbrough, Charlie Miller weaving his way through. That Man Utd stepping up for once here, having a look. Obviously, Vialli's had a word, I would imagine, with him. I'm not sure it's been his fault they've been getting smashed every week, but he's quite a good keeper at Man Utd, but he's making some decent saves today.
Excuse me. But yeah, is he one of the higher owned keepers in the game? Oh no, he's not. I thought he would have been. I'm surprised by that. He's not even in the top 10.
He probably would have been my third option at 4.5. I think Serrani and Hedman did stand out, but I think if you're looking at as a third player in that bracket, I don't think from memory, I don't think they rotate very well, Serrani and Hedman.
No, I don't think they do. And I'm thinking of whether or not I'm going to. Van Nistelooy
in Man United black. Van Nistelooy in Man United black. Is that
captain goal? I thought it was Newcastle game.
Maybe it's the.
I think that's another one. I think Luke said he bought Chadwick in, didn't he? So instead of Teato, so it's just typical. Of course, something was gonna come good for him.
It's all right. We'll let captain off for that one. Man United did once have that all black away kit in the Cantona days, so we'll pretend it's this is ChampMan 95-96 or something, and it'll be all good.
What year was the black and blue? Sort of dark, you know which one I mean, the dark blue one
with white. Was it dark blue and white?
I thought it was dark blue and black. I might.
They had a very strange green away kit for a while. That was quite old school.
It's one of the tracks I'm on about. And there was all I remember is growing up when everyone was a United fan when I was a kid. There's lots of people owning that some sort of dark bluish away kit.
The Man United black was before you were born.
Oh yeah. I remember the blue kit with Vodafone as a sponsor.
Yeah, yeah. And another goal. It's Marcus Stewart, Ipswich lead at home to Leicester. Is that 3 goals for him now this season? It's definitely 2, maybe 3. He's another one, maybe flying under the radar amongst the cheap strikers. Marcus Stewart.
Yeah, I think it's 2. But they're quite good. The Leeds strikers, if they actually weren't so potentially rotation prone, they're all right in game, and for their value, they're not too bad. But Ipswich aren't the most exciting team in the game. Oh, was it Tarico assist as well? Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I'll take that.
Yeah, so will I.
Attacking return. Oh, you got 2. But,
vice captain. Oh, here we go. Oh.
Yeah, I think Van Nistelooy probably was the best captain this week. That was my original plan before Boxic got injured. I was getting Van Nistelooy in.
Sol Campbell.
He's on my bench, Sol Campbell.
No, I've got him third return.
Oh, no. Wally last week. So I played him last week, Sol Campbell. I played him the last 2 weeks for about 1 point combined. And I thought Arsenal ain't keeping a clean sheet against Everton. I'm benching him. And I was justified in the first part of it. And he's then gone and scored a bullet header.
Yeah, someone should have asked for Campbell in my Sims thread. He was bound to score this week. I would have told you.
What's Sol Campbell?
No, he's one of those actually that I don't ever see him score, not from my memory. So there's a Cole assist.
The 2 better owned Arsenal defenders combining.
I think Cole's actually one of those. I know he's not first 2 seasons. He wasn't great for stretches, but I think he's an all right pick. Arsenal have some good fixtures coming up, don't they? So I don't think he's the worst pick in the world.
You come Man City, are they going to score as well? No, not yet anyway. Darren Huckabee denied. Billy Mercer has 1 good week, then 1 bad one. I think his rating weren't the best last week from memory. He got substituted, didn't he, halfway through the game?
Yeah.
He's
What's on my bookshelf? So somewhere there are both of Peter Crouch's autobiographies. So it's good fortune if he can finally, he's not playing this week, but maybe he'll finally do well in the future. Is he no returns yet? Is it no returns yet? I think that's right.
He's not going to get one tonight.
No, because he's not playing. But and then Carragher's autobiography, well, not autobiography, books somewhere there as well, and he's not playing. So there's no luck for anybody.
Yeah. So when Martin's on, he's got his Joby McAnuff shirt, and it seems to bring McAnuff good luck.
I couldn't find my.
When he's not playing, I like that.
I couldn't find my my Robbie Keane Wolf shirt. Well, not mine. My dad's Robbie Keane Wolf shirt. I think it's in the loft above me. So
more big news. It's another centre-back injury there for Watford. So Ward, who's probably their next best defender after Vega, I think, is gone off, and someone called Wells has come on. From memory, I can't actually remember what his first name is. Wells for Watford.
You're okay. I think Given's quite a highly owned keeper by the ownership stats, so there's a save for Given owners.
I don't mind him because they play long ball. I always feel like he's got half a chance of getting an assist just from one of the massive long balls forward. So extra string to the bow for points. But it's Robert Wells who's come on. So that's another one we need to look at now, see how bad his stats are. So I'm assuming he's a centre back. So it's him and Williams. You've got to be confident for Borough now.
Yeah, Ricardo owners are going to be unlucky if they get nothing. This Mikel seems to be up in the comms quite a bit today.
Chance of Mika Hyde left Watford for Bradford, but couldn't score there.
Veron retirement ready. Yeah, Veron owners have been a bit unlucky so far. They're going to take him out on wildcard, and he's going to go back.
He's a big choice on wildcard, I think, because not having him frees up quite a lot of money. And there are quite a lot of other midfielders from game week 5 that do have quite good fixtures. Perez, for example, Arsenal have got good games. You get a Chelsea midfielder early ahead of that double. They've got good games before that. Petkoff, I think we haven't seen the best of him this season yet either, a bit like Veron. But Watford had all right games. But affording any of that lot and Veron is quite hard.
Yeah, I think I'd be looking at a 4-3-3 if I was wildcarding any time in the next few weeks, probably. I struggle to go 3 at the back in ChampMan, but I think there are some midfielders with some good fixtures, like I said, Perez.
It's a penalty to Ipswich. Elliott with a foul on Marcus Stewart. So it could be a goal and an assist here for Marcus Stewart. And Jamie Redknapp. Let's hope he doesn't get injured taking this.
Missed one last year, didn't? Oh,
He's not missing this one. That's it. A flawless. This is going.
there
in.
you go. I think
I'm
Redknapp's
not
probably
falling- I'm
owned
not
by a
falling
fair
for that.
few. So Headman goat. Yeah, Headman is the goat.
So a good game for Marcus Stewart. That's a goal and an assist for him and for Telfer. Early contenders for team of the week.
All those high-owned midfielders getting those goals.
Still a bit quiet in the big games. We're not getting too much. Like Villa, Sunderland, have barely had anything from.
Yeah.
City, Norwich a bit. I don't like One Chop's name's not appeared on the screen once. I don't think yet.
No, I don't think so. We saw a Huckabee chance, didn't we? Gardso's getting involved again.
Yeah, giving it a go, Newcastle.
No, not
I've still
Dial.
got
They
it.
just
I've
took
still-
him out.
I've still got him.
Oh, my God.
Why?
Whew.
Yeah, he was meant to go this week as part of that -4. It was meant to be him out that was going to help facilitate Ruud. But obviously, once we started getting box hits news and stuff, my plans changed. So Dyer got another week.
Yeah, I've not owned. I didn't own a Borough striker, which potentially was a mistake from the start. But I think I might have just about got away with it if we don't get much from Ricard this week. But yeah, unlucky that we've not seen much from. Have we seen Ricard's name yet on this comms?
Yeah, he had one moment early on, but yeah, a lot of not many chances for any of the big guns really. Veron barely mentioned, Dublin Angel barely mentioned, One Chop Tiato barely mentioned.
Just rude.
And he's not had loads of mentions either.
Well, Larson's been well involved though, so
He's the one.
Here we go.
And there's Zepeda against the unknown fullback. Oh, he's missed it.
I've learnt the pronunciation. If anyone used to listen to my early pods, I couldn't pronounce anyone's name. So,
Especially him. He's the memorable one, to be fair.
Zepda. That's what I call him.
Yeah, he's the memorable one. Mr.
Zepeda or Zepeda? Zepeda doesn't sound good. Zepeda sounds better.
You used to have a silent E in the middle of it, but he's come back.
Well, even most of the people who can remember potentially probably don't even remember him anyway, so I can call him what I like.
To be fair, he's one of the ones from real life that I don't know. Obviously, this is my kind of peak era of football. So a lot of the names on here I'll know, but some of the overseas signings we've had, my football knowledge is fairly vast, I would say. But even him from real life, I've got no idea where they dug him up from.
No, him and I can put quite a few people. You know, my dad's mentioned the names of lots of these people, but him and Petkov are two I've definitely never heard of.
There's Keith O'Neill. Kirkland decided to save something in this game.
Zepayday. What? Zepayday? Oh, there you go. That's good pronunciation. I like that one. He's good in game, though. I really like him in game.
Come on, Lynn. It's a good time to say it's not pronounced Headman, like head as in your forehead. We'll wait to see what the actual pronunciation is, because that's how I've always pronounced it.
What are we going for? Headman? Even I can get that one.
No, I don't think that's right, according to Lynn. That's not how it's pronounced.
Suspense is killing me.
Billy Hadaway was trying to get hold of Zepeda on Twitter. He never responded. It's unfortunate. I think someone did manage to get hold of Zemarabi, I think, on Twitter. I think he replied.
Dublin book him?
No, he booked Arca instead. But on Dion, get him sent off.
I think Arca was one of the people asked for in my sim data. He doesn't have very good numbers, so I imagine quite a lot of people probably got rid of him. Heedman. Oh, we'll go for Heedman. I guess.
Heedman.
Okay. EA, so Heedman.
Well, I'll remember that moving forward for future podcasts.
I won't. I'll call him Headman.
Yeah, we'll get it wrong before half time again, no doubt.
He's Headman to me.
I'll try my best to remember next time his name comes up. I'll make a big deal of saying it right.
I will not heed your pronunciation. Yeah, no.
Feel free to let us know in the chat of anything else we're pronouncing wrong. There'll be, I'm sure there's plenty.
I call Ruud because I always pronounce his last name wrong.
Oh, here we go. Chance of Borough. And it's the postman delivering the corner. That was worth going to Borough for. Corner coming in and going for another one.
their makeshift defences.
No.
No. Oh,
Yeah, go on the boy.
Quality.
My favourite keeper from season 2 at Medina. So do you just get favourite players on this game you want to own? He's one of those. I quite like him on this game. He's probably one of those I bought myself quite a lot when I played it myself. He's quite regularly one of my chosen keepers. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for him. But because Watford are so bad defensively, you can't really own him in this. But yeah, it'd be nice if he does me a favour for this 1 week.
Yeah, got to be Lee Hendry. You know, everyone knows I love him so much. He's great in game, but there's actually the reason I actually love him is because I, for some reason, can remember my dad owning a Scotland shirt that had Hendry on the back, but it might not have even been Lee Hendry.
Lee Hendry's English. He played for England in centre midfield. I'd imagine that might be John Hendry. I think he used to play as a striker.
It rang a bell in the first season, and I must have loved him.
Oh, Dion.
There you go.
What's the chance? My drink would have gone flying if that would have gone in. I don't think the missus would have been happy when one of her glasses got smashed on the conservatory floor. But so I'm quite glad he's in a way.
Stay on the carpet. I would. Oh,
who was that? I missed that one.
Is it card?
Is it a yellow? Has he got one? No.
Injury, red card. All the owners are going to be Colin Hendry. No, I'm convinced. I'll have to ask my dad.
Yeah, it could be Colin Hendry. Or I think John Hendry, the striker, has got the same spelling as Lee Hendry. That's the goal for. There we go. He didn't get the first goal, but
2 assists for Tarico.
Yes,
lovely stuff.
I don't know what his ownership is, Tarico, but that might be a nice differential hit. 2 assists and a clean.
The investigation to which Hendry it is on the back of the Scotland shirt continues.
Well, Colin Hendry spelled D-R-Y. Lee Hendry is obviously D-R-I-E, and John Hendry, the striker, was D-R-I-E. So I would imagine if you thought it was that, it's probably the striker.
Yeah, I reckon it was definitely IE, and I just rang a bell. I remember when we first started playing, and I thought, I like him.
I don't think he's amazingly good in real life. Barnes had that one season in the Prem, that famous season, 97-98. The same. I think it's one of the only times that the 3 promoted teams all went straight back down again. It was then Bolton and somebody else. Might have been Crystal Palace, I think. But so we saw a bit of him in the Prem that year. John Hendry at Barnsley. So I imagine it's him. Didn't know he played for Wolves though.
No, it was on a
Scotland shirt. Okay.
My dad's collected football shirts from when I was a kid. There's got to be hundreds, but none of them fit me. So
here comes Man United again. Chadwick.
Another save forgiven.
They've changed back into their red kit now. Another game before your time. They once played Southampton, Man United, and changed kits at half time. They had a grey kit on, and apparently the players couldn't see each other properly or something. So at half time, they completely changed kit to a different away kit. They won the game. No, they lost. I think that was the game they lost 6-3. It was definitely against Southampton, but they changed kit at half time. Man United.
That's one of those ones that comes up on Twitter and Facebook. You see, so I've heard the story before, but before my time, I think.
All these great stories of early Premier League that you've missed out on, mate.
Yeah, we were in. I can remember us being in the Premier League the first time when we finished bottom. I can remember some of it vaguely, but no. Well, I missed out on a lot of the early Premier League. I can't remember the Invincible season, if that makes you feel.
That makes me feel incredibly old if you can't remember that. Yeah.
Can many people remember stuff when they were 3 or 4?
That was England at 1990 World Cup for me.
Larson.
Here come Leeds. Viduka again out wide. Who's he crossing for? What's Henrik Larsson? Yes, a goal. Viduka with a cross. Henrik Larsson's header.
Lovely stuff.
Everyone out. I don't know. They sure.
It's another return.
Yeah, first
goal.
Every
return. The moment I'm on comms, I'm actually getting some.
I feel sorry for Tottenham's defenders if they're worried about Viduka's pace. It wasn't quite the attribute I had in mind for him.
But yeah, Henrik Larsson living up another Simmers win. A Henrik Larsson return.
Unfortunately, I had him as emergency captain, so he doesn't actually do anything for me this week. But I'll obviously gladly take his points. But
yeah, I think he was. Luke said that he shied away from captaining, but I think a few people did in Discord said that they'd captained him. So Nice return for them, trusting the data.
Phillips had about 4 chances now. He's just hit the crossbar again from a lever cross. So it's coming, I think, for Phillips. Sunderland doing a bit better attacking than I expected them to actually at the moment in this game. They're having more chances than Villa. Here come Arsenal with Jeffers, another person we ain't really heard from yet, Thierry Henry, as he's barely been mentioned as well. Graham S. Viduka, the pace man. Spurs have still got 4 million Stephen Clark at left back. No idea what his acceleration and pace is. I'm going to assume quite low on the basis of this. AD Tor's got Larson captain. Well played, mate. It was almost a coin toss, I think, between most of the main candidates for captaincy this week. So Larson was in that discussion. So well played to do that.
Yeah, I think there's quite a lot of good captain choices this week, which is nice. I think with the way they've priced Ruud, it has spread the captain choices out a little bit, and with the vice captain added, so it's nice to see some different people getting captained. Wickstra, no, puts it wide.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's still 0-0.
Yeah.
Bradford,
well, that's a game that Bradford at home, especially when they play a team that someone like Bolton, there tends to be quite a few goals in that kind of game. We were promised goals last week from the Bradford game as well.
Strangely, I think if you would have said to me after like 40 minutes which game's most likely to be 0-0 still, I probably would have said Ipswich Leicester. It's the one that's got the most goals.
But it's the two that we all want returns from that have remained 0-0 with Man City and Borough not scoring.
I'd gladly take this from the Borough-Watford game. So I've only got on show in that game, so that's a delightful result for me personally if that stays 0-0.
Yeah, I've got Southgate in that game, so I'd take a 0-0 as well.
Sorry, Shane, he's on 0 returns again.
What's we got?
It's Huckabee running rings around Norwich at the minute. I don't know who's he's up against. He's on the guy's side, I think.
Yeah, someone said no mention of Angel. So
what a chance this is for One Chop.
One Chop.
Yeah, in 2 minutes.
Lovely stuff.
Larson and return. One chance, one goal.
I think. I said I thought Rickard might be the most capped actually, but I reckon One Chop's probably up there as well.
We'll have that one to your list of puns. One chance, one goal, one chop. There you go.
I write that one. I don't. He's another player I just can't picture in real life.
He came randomly to the Premier League in like the mid-90s to Derby. Another goal. Was that Zima Abbey again?
Oh.
Was that Zima? It was 3 goals. Zima Abbey. Flying start.
Form over fixtures.
Oh, and Nolan owners robbed of the assist by the sounds of things. VAR for that one, I think.
Oh.
I'm guessing Nolan was involved and somehow not been credited the assist, which is unfortunate.
But yeah, One Chop. So what's the One Chop story? I genuinely can't picture him in my head. Well, I know what he looks like, but
he's a really gangly player from Costa Rica that came over to Derby, and no one had obviously heard of him because he'd come from Costa Rica. And he turned up randomly against Man United. No one really ever seen him play. And he just ran rings around everyone. He had sort of a... because he's so gangly and it didn't seem to run with that dribble a normal way. He just seemed a bit sort of unorthodox almost. But it was quite effective in that one game with Man United. I think it might have been 2-2 or something between Derby and Man United. He at least scored one of the goals. But yeah, he definitely made a big impression. He hadn't been at Derby very long.
Like a cult hero.
Yeah, he is for that one goal at Derby. They went mad and found about 2 or 3 Costa Rican players all at the same time. Obviously, wasn't well known as a hotbed of international football talent at that period in the mid-90s, Costa Rica. But another chance for Kevin Phillips. Personal duel today between him and Enkelman. Interested at the end of the game to see how many shots he's had in this. It's got to be at least 5 by now already, I think, in the first half.
Everyone's reminiscing about One Chop in the chat, but can't get involved in that.
Derby won 3-2. Sorry, I said 2-2. Derby won the game 3-2. I just remember him.
Who's substitution for Tottenham?
Left back team. Obviously not happy with Stephen Clark getting roasted by Viduka for pace. Not that Bunčević had much pace in real life either, so I don't think that's really going to help in that sense. But looks like he's going to play left back now.
He can't. Another player who's not springing to mind.
Yeah, he wasn't around at Tottenham all that long from memory. I don't think Bunčević.
Yeah.
Ronerid's in the chat. He can tell us a good story about Bunčević maybe as a Tottenham fan or above average FPL. He's another Tottenham fan. they'll maybe have some stories about him.
I've not got many stories about the Wolves players. When we put together the dead team with ex-Wolves players, it took me forever. Most of them don't play. Iverson doesn't play. Marcus Bent hasn't been starting either. So you don't do former Wolves players don't do very well in this game. And shame we've got no Lescott.
Yeah, that's a shame. He's actually good in this game.
Did he move from Wolves?
Yeah, he went to Derby and then got relegated.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Kenny Miller's quite well. I've dabbled in this game with Wolves a little bit, and Kenny Miller's
at Rangers. He's at Rangers, isn't he?
Is he at Rangers in this game?
When you first start, he is at Rangers. Yeah, Kenny Miller. He got a handful of good strikers at the start. Arveladze, he's not too bad. Yeah, they've got steady team of strikers.
Scottish teams are actually quite good in the early 2000s.
Yeah, Rangers and Celtic are good on here.
Yeah, never really remember Scottish football being any good in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's just this game. The Celtic can go quite far in Europe and stuff early season. They've got Hedman starts there. Hedman. He's the Celtic keeper. Hearts and Larsson are quite good up front. They've got a few Scandinavian defenders who are fairly useful. Didier Gat, he's not bad. Yeah, steady team Celtic on here.
You could say any name and I'd go, yeah, sure, I agree.
That's why you can come on with me, mate. I just say anything and you just agree with it. If I do that with Martin or Benno, they question me. If I do it with you, it's like you just accept it. So
I have to. It has given me a bit of a footballing education, this game, because there's players who I know the name of, but I didn't remember them or even know they played for the teams that they play for.
Everton attacking again right on the half-time whistle. Is it going to be... It's Gravison picking up the loose ball.
We get a Christie goal. Yeah,
I'm going to get a Malcolm Christie goal right on the half-time whistle.
He was a good pickup, I think. If you picked him up, it was a good option.
It's a lesson for people here, though, that a home game with Arsenal is actually quite a good game. I think it's easy on paper to look at that and think that's not a good game, home to Arsenal. But somehow we've still got enough time for Arsenal to go on the attack again. Here comes Thierry Henry from Lundberg's cross. Ooh.
Depends with Arsenal. If they're against in a big game, they can sometimes get thumped, like get quite a few goals put past them, because they seem to just set up defensively away from home in those games. So, yeah, they can get thumped.
I can understand last week why people might have been put off for a week with one chop. So I got him in last week for 2 games, thinking that last week's game was okay. But I can see why a lot of people, especially those that haven't played this before, would be against doing that, thinking I'd have got Arsenal, that won't be very good. And there's Ricard setting up Jonathan Green in.
Puts it wide.
And now we've got tonight Christie, another one. I think he's an interesting striker pickup for the next couple of weeks. Everton, maybe a bit under the radar because they had a few away games. We haven't seen too much of them really yet. But last guy's chance for Leeds, is it with Hart's cross? Another save for Thierry. Keep saving them shots, boy. I need some save points.
Oh, we're never going to get half time at this rate.
Oh, well, yeah, more action now than in the first 15
minutes. There you
go.
Rebrov.
Both the Tottenham strikers in the same game week. That's not something we'll be saying very often this season, that both the Tottenham strikers scored at the same time. And that's now interesting. What have they done here? So
Iverson on for Ziga.
Is he a forward left centre, Iverson?
Can't think off the top of my head, but
I think he might be a forward left centre on this game, which means he'll probably deal with playing on the left midfield. Otherwise, Quinton Fortune, maybe I know what they've done. They'll probably move Quinton Fortune from the middle to the left. They'll move Simon Davis back in the middle from the right. And Selakovic will go and play right midfield. And Everson will go up front with Rebrov.
Yeah, probably.
Selakovic will be out wide right, I think, now. And Fortune out on the left. We've made it to half time. I don't know if you want to read down the current scores, Alex.
Yeah, so obviously Villa Sunderland 0-0 along with Bradford Bolton. Yeah, not seen a lot from those games. Coventry 2-0 up on Liverpool, so unlucky for those who own any Liverpool defenders. But I think Coventry are showing that at home they can get a goal or two. In here, Everton 2-1 up. Ipswich, the big scorers 3-0 up. City finally actually getting some returns after being sat on 0-0 for a while, and then Got 0-0 for Middlesbrough. United 1-0 up and Spurs 2-1 up. So nothing massively interesting, but Ruud return, Larson return. So good for some of those highly owned premium forwards.
Those three, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and one chop and
Tarico with 2 assists.
Oh yeah, 2
teams.
Big goal for Sol Campbell as well for those Sol Campbell owners. Just me.
Cool. So yeah, I mentioned we'll get on to the other thing now. So I mentioned before the game there is some information. I'll say up front that the transfer hasn't happened yet. It's just an interest. I don't know if people want to have a guess in the chat, but Leeds are interested in bringing a new player in, and it's a player from the Spanish league. So anyone who's played the game, it's a transfer that has been known to happen. If anyone that plays the game often themselves kind of get used to certain transfers occurring, and this is one of them that can happen reasonably often. So Leeds have been, I'll give people a few chances maybe to have a guess in the chat who they think it might be, but yeah, Leeds one step closer to signing a new player because there's an interest. Obviously we learned from season 2, it's worth adding that Veron, from, you might remember Alex, was linked with Juventus quite heavily at one point.
Yeah.
And it didn't go through, did it? So we're only at the interested stage. It's not nothing more than that at the moment.
Diego Tristan.
And a few people are getting it in the chat. They are right. So Man on Martin, well done. Adam English, yeah, that's right. Adam Brown, well done. Frederick Turner Jr., well done. It is Pablo Aimar. Not that Leeds really need another attacking midfielder. Talk about buy what you don't need. They're already struggling to fit all their attacking midfielders into the team, hence why Harry Kewell having to play so deep. So they've taken the chance to go and buy another one. It happens quite a lot in this game, to be fair. And I think when Panda told me about the interest to reveal it at half time, he did say that he expects it to go through because in the 20 sims they ran to get the prices for this game, I think that transfer happened multiple times in those 20. So it was something they was kind of expecting. So I don't know. I don't know if you know much about. You didn't really play this game, is that right? As a game.
No, I've not played many. I've actually never played a full season of this game. I think obviously it's a good game, but the problem is it's the nostalgia kick, and I don't get it. But I do know that Leeds often they go to Spain quite a bit for some players.
They always seem to buy an AMC. Riquelme goes to Leeds quite a lot from the Argentinian guy, or they get Aimar. But they don't usually sign Henrik Larsson as well. So usually if they buy an attacking midfielder, they can still carry on just playing Keane up front.
Yeah.
But the fact they've got Larsson as well obviously means that that's an extra issue should Aimar. So I say, just to clarify again, it's not a done deal yet. It's just an interest. But I think there is reasonably high expectations it'll go through. But I say I thought that Veron would go in season 2 to Juventus, and that didn't happen. So we won't count our chickens before they've hatched. But I think it's a problem now for Robbie Keane owners. I think quite a lot of people have got him. Obviously, they had him for these first couple of game weeks. His place is the one I would think is immediately under threat. Because Aimar is an AMC, and I think when I regularly saw him play, he played as the AMC as well. So obviously, Keane could still play up front again. So I'm not quite sure who's going to be completely impacted. Keane's position's the one that's would be impacted. But I say he could go up front, and one of Lars Viduka's dropped.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if Aimar even plays. Like obviously, Kewell is an attacking midfielder and he's playing central, deeper. And I say I know Aimar's position's AMC, but he may have the ability to play midfield as well. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm guessing and just sort of speaking my mind at the moment. But should that happen, I guess he could play in a very attacking lineup with Kewell as a 2 CMs.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not like you said. I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about him, but potentially. Potentially something like that. I think Kewell owners, it's quite a good timing though, because it's around about wildcard time. We have just been sent his stats by Captain, if there's anything to...
I can't see that. I don't know. You can read them out, mate, if you've got...
It's just the ones that if people care for stats: 20 acceleration, 20 agility, 20 decisions, 20 determination, 20 dribbling, 20 pace, 19 flair, 19 off the ball. So some of the important stats of his position.
Yeah, he's very good.
His condition's injured. If that's relevant to anything.
I think Billy Hadaway's worked out what his role is. They've brought him to replace Berkovic, who they hadn't replaced yet. Maybe it is that.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, that's potentially interesting one moving forward. So it makes it hard on wildcard next week to know where all these players are going to fit in. It's not like Leeds desperately need a position. It's not like they're incredibly weak in a position, and so should be prioritising that. Like Arsenal, for example, really could do with buying a centre back to play with Campbell, I think. But yeah, Leeds, I wouldn't have had them down. Like Liverpool or Chelsea or someone could have made much more use of Aymar, I think, than Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds just seem to just want everybody, which then makes it a little bit awkward for those people, because I think Keane was quite a nice one, because he's a midfielder, was quite a nice option.
It might have a knock-on effect with other moves if he goes, right? Does it mean Alan Smith leaves? Obviously, Smith's very good on this game and could do very well somewhere else. If he ends up at Arsenal or something, could that be... I don't know if you've seen your Smith leaving and going to a particular club. But
no, I'm not off the top of my head. I mean, I tend to be just a numbers person. I don't have the time to track all the trends. I know some people who know the game a little bit better than I do can spot things like that, but I tend to just go straight to the numbers, and just occasionally you see like you said, there's some transfers that happen, like Varane leaves a lot. You see that a lot, but I think I have seen Aymar pop up. The name rings a bell, so
it's very good for Valencia in this game. So yeah, it's one of the AMCs as a manager. If you're quite a good team with some money at the start, he's one of the AMCs that is gettable, and he's very good. So I've signed him a few times. Arsenal, I'd say Arsenal do tend to sign a striker in season 3. It can be Phillips, it can be Shearer. I've seen both of those. So would they be in the market for a Smith? You'd imagine they'd be in the market for him. I guess it depends how long it takes him to get frustrated about his lack of opportunities, Smith. So
yeah, right. I'll quickly, before we start, I'll go for a wee. Got a child's bladder to match the child's face. So
you take the Martin role.
Takes one beer to need a wee for me. So I'll be right back.
So just ask a few questions in the chat. James Street, why are people looking at a game week 5 wild card? I don't know if you have, James, but quite a lot of people set up their teams prioritising people with good fixtures in game weeks 1 to 4. The likes of Aston Villa, Middlesbrough, all had 3 quite good home games in the first 4 weeks. And in the next block of games, their fixtures are a lot worse. So obviously one solution to that problem is to wildcard out of it and then obviously have a more balanced team. So that's one reason people are doing it. There is a double in, obviously, in game week 8, and that's one way of getting yourself more in line to deal with that. I think it's just there's a reasonable shift coming up, I think, now from game week 4 to game week 5 of the teams that have good games. And obviously you can work your way through that with regular transfers and the odd hit. But if you want to maximise that, the wild card is a solution to that. So some people are going to do that. A few people talking about Carboni. Not 100% sure what that was about. David H saying Greening's going to get subbed on the 59th minute. I don't think it'll be that long, David. I think it'll be the substitutes seem to happen between 50 and sort of 56, a lot of them. So you may hang on till 59. Runnerid saying, as Aymar still pens. Oh, you're simming, mate. I'm not this season. I don't know what his pen stat is. If it's high or 0, then there's a chance, I guess, he could take pens. Leeds seem to be quite a good team, aren't they, if they get to a penalty shootout in a competition, because they'll have Aymar, Hart, Larson, with high penalty stats. Michael Smith saying Aymar was one of his favourite players at that time. He was so good for Valencia. He was so good for Valencia. I preferred Ruben Baraka personally. I loved him as a central midfielder. He was my favourite player in that Valencia team. And obviously John Carew, who I loved even more once he came to Villa. But yeah, Aymar was class as well. Some good players in that Valencia team. Andy Martin saying and Alan Smith might go to Rangers. Quite common. We obviously seen already in the first 2 seasons that quite a lot of players leave and go to Scotland, mainly Celtic in our sim with Joe Cole, etc. So yeah, Smith to Rangers, I guess, is a possibility if he was to leave. But we say we shouldn't prejudge. There are a lot of transfers that simmers will see as that happen fairly regularly. I think Benno, who was on last week, has mentioned quite a few times that he expects Tommy Smith to leave Watford at some point in season 3.
Yeah, I've seen that before as well, actually. When Benno mentioned it to me, I took a look, and it can happen. Season 3 is a strange one, because I assume the further and further we get away, the more we sort of see a bit of variance. And once you kind of get over the hurdle with some of those season 1 and 2 transfers that don't happen. It's slightly harder to predict, but no, I'm sure we may have something else. I think we've been quite kind with transfers so far, actually, in the game. I've seen more carnage than this happen.
It's just the amount of the teams that buy it, like shit players. There's been probably a fair more transfers than you think, but you just look at it from the outside and think, why you bought him for? There's clearly better players than him on the game. There's Moed in the chat. I'm on Raquelme. He fed Batty goal at Argentina. Yeah, Batistuta, my favourite footballer of all time. Not the best, but my favourite.
So, that's your favourite footballer of all time.
Batistuta.
Yeah, well, again, another. I mean, I know him, but I wouldn't put him in my favourites. Probably not a childhood hero of mine.
He is. I think it was a fascination with his long hair and headband and stuff when I was growing up. Sort of peak, sort of mid to late 90s footballer. Yeah, like a certain look about him. Scored some great goals. Just like a really good all-round striker.
I hope Deakin remembers Battersea. I remember may not be. It's difficult, really, isn't it? Because when you're a kid, you don't watch that much European football. But yeah, I know the name. Of course I do. But remember may not be the word.
A couple of World Cups and stuff as well. He was pretty prolific at a couple of World Cups. He's up there with Miroslav Klose and players like that, I think, for all-time World Cup goals.
I do remember Klose.
He played more in your time frame.
Yeah, well, when you support, I'm sure you agree, when you support a not so good team like we do, you don't get a chance to watch the Champions League very often. Your Wednesday nights are spent watching Championship football.
I've got a few Arsenal fans in the chat that will remember Batistuta fairly well. He had a very good game at Highbury in the late 90s. FL Teachmo, what minute will Tiato score in the second half? He's going to score the next 10 seconds, Teachmo. We just kicked off at the start of the second half. So you don't have to wait long, mate, and he'll score. That's not going to come true, is it?
No, well, someone said, do I remember Glenn Hoddle? Yes, I do remember Glenn Hoddle managing Wolves. That's around about the time when we lived a little bit closer to Wolverhampton than where we do now. I used to go quite a lot, and so I do remember. Actually, he's slowly killing his legacy in my mind, sadly. More and more he appears on commentary.
Weekly plug for Whitney Nil Gym, by the way. It's taken me quite a long time to get to that point of this stream. But
no gin for me. I've no ship beer.
On the go ship.
It's nice.
Slow start to the second half. There's Emerson Tone clattering through Angel.
Yeah. Season 1, 2 legend. Emerson Tone, quite popular. Was he 5? Oh, there's a goal.
Is that a free kick from George Boateng? Or was it just a shot?
No, he struck just a shot. Sunderland kicked off.
Oh, Angel has nabbed another fortunate assist by the looks of things.
There you go.
I'm a bit concerned that Dublin's going to get a pre-60 sub. This is probably the nerviest 15 minutes of the whole stream, isn't it? This block of time. If you've got players you want to do well, that doesn't seem to have done a lot.
I think Sunderland at home is one of those games that depends on your generation whether you think it's a good home game or a bad home game. I think.
I made a decision on Dublin this week purely from season 2. Me and Benno were running quite a lot of sims, and I remember it was fairly late on in season 2. This fixture happened, Villa Sunderland, and both of us were seeing stupid numbers for Dublin in this game. We both captained him, and he scored a hat trick, and he scored loads of hat tricks in the sims we ran as well. I think in 20 sims he scored about 5 hat tricks.
I captained him as well because of a message from Benno on Discord. I remember.
We were running him, and so I'm not running Sims this year, but just the memory of those Sims. I know we're in season 3 now, not season 2, but a lot of similarities are still the same, aren't they? The same players, really, the same managers. So there isn't an obvious reason to think he can't get close to matching that again. So I did it as a little bit of a nostalgia captaincy, really.
Yeah, the awkward thing about Dublin in Sims is that he tends to be one of those people that's quite consistent, as in you see him getting over 20 games, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goals, but he smashes it, but he rarely goes below sort of maybe 6 goals. So it depends on which way you see it. Do you want someone who you can kind of rely on to tick along most weeks, or someone who's like your one chops or your Rickards who can just absolutely smash it out of the park one week and then another week they're not doing anything. It depends on how you look at numbers, really.
Oh, the donut on the volley. A save.
Another Headman save.
Heedman with another save.
Heedman save. I'm going to call him Headman. And Heedman just doesn't sound right.
People are putting in the chat it was a free kick. So Angel, I think that's two possible assists already for him for getting fouled for free kicks. Yeah, George Boateng is definitely not a free kick taker, by the way. There's no way for Villa he was taking any of our free kicks. He just ran around kicking everyone was basically his job when he played for Villa. So God knows how he's got himself on the free kicks. But
wake up, Lee Hendry. Yeah, wake up, Lee Hendry. He seems a bit.
I can't be doing another Coventry clean sheet. 3 clean sheets in 4 with Heedman getting save points and bonus points is too much. If that happens,
is that all 3 of their home games clean sheets? Is it? Is that right?
They let 2 in at Man United. They drew 0-0 game week 3, I think.
Oh yeah.
Clean sheet in game week 1, I think they did.
Yeah, they did. I think. So Kelly Keane. Is he gonna?
For his place now, he's
closing out his Leeds career with a goal. Wolves legend. There you go. There's one good Wolves player, ex-Wolves player in this game.
I've got him as captain in my Ghost team as well because he got in my Aston Villa team as well. Robbie Keane.
Yeah, he's captain in my Ghost Wolves team as well.
He's the
only good Wolves player in this game who plays every week.
Another one of the Wolves Villa crossover. Him and Julian Lescott, is it? I don't know.
There's a few, isn't there? What's his name? Oakes as well. Did he play for Villa?
Yeah, he did. Joey Goodjohnson. Yeah. He played for Wolves, didn't he? I think he may have gone to Wolves from Villa, Joey Goodjohnson. I think it's one of the ChampMans. It might be this one. He's quite good. He's an Icelandic central midfielder. I think he's under the radar, quite a good player on this game. If it weren't this one, it's one of the other ones around this era. I think he came from Real Betis from memory, but yeah, he's maybe one to buy if you're playing your own game, your own save. Who's getting booked to the Riverside?
Look in, Ricard.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh no, it's my player. Of course it is. Has to be my player. Anyone else?
That's one pronunciation that thank God I nailed. Honcho.
Anyone? 11 players to book, Ref, and you book my one.
Yeah, well, Southgate's not really jumped on the bonus. Honcho's dominated the bonus.
So Hugo Ekiog's average rating's only been 7, I think, through the first 3 game weeks. Roque Jr.'s average is about 9. And I don't think the discrepancy is quite that big at Borough. But it's a similar thing. One of them's doing really well and the other one's not, where you kind of expect it to be quite even.
Hendry, come on, mate.
Yeah, well done, Hadji. Good idea. Down to Dublin.
No.
Go on.
Ooh. Poon with a big debut. With a good finish.
I think Captain's winding me up with that extra long pause. Kind of like Del Boy and Only Fools and Horses there. Is he winding me up? Anyone that watches that might remember that line from something. But yeah, for your time as well. Sorry, mate. All these programs that are too old.
I've seen it. Netflix does exist. But no, before my time.
I think it's the one where he goes hang gliding and obviously that episode where he goes hang gliding. A yellow card for Jason DeVos.
Well, chat's shut on my phone. Let's try and get it back open. Hello.
Change for Liverpool. Finishes the first sub. Here comes Jamie Carragher for Patrick Berger.
Right. We can get the book out.
I'm assuming that means Risa may have gone to left midfield. Carragher at left back, probably. Booking for Gerrard as well there.
Yeah, it's quite highly owned, isn't he? By some of the more casual players or newer players, shall I say?
Yeah, so good idea if you've got Risa and playing him this week, you're probably more likely to get an attacking return from left wing. I assume that's what's happened.
I assume so. Yeah, he's doesn't do incredible for attacking returns in this game, considering in real life he was always all right going forwards. He had a good left foot on him, didn't he?
FPL Supremo in the chat. We haven't got a car phone yet. That's the episode, mate. Yeah, you've got it. David Samuel from Villa was awesome on loan at Gillingham. I actually went to school with his cousin, J. Lloyd Samuel. His cousin was the goalkeeper at my Sunday league team for a little while. I went to my school. So a little bit of crossover there for me and J. Lloyd Samuel.
No, not most. None of the footballers I went to school with could possibly be in this game.
Mark Noble went to my school. He's like a year younger than me.
Oh, I've got one for you. Snooker player Willie Thorne went to my school.
Did he?
Long time before I was there.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
He's one for you old timers.
Yeah. How many times has he been wheeled back into the school to celebrate something? Must be quite a few.
Never when I was there, but yeah. Larson. Oh, handled the ball. I thought he said headed the ball.
Great UK garage reference. What's Cobbler said?
Hate the phrase before my time. I've heard of Genghis Khan.
Boom, 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 collector. Rewind. Yeah, who's doing that? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, Jess. Oh, apparently Jess has gone off.
I'm too busy rapping and talking about J. Lloyd Samuel. I've missed a substitute. Come on, Deakin.
Yes,
What are you doing for me?
Never heard of Jesus Christ before my time. Sorry, Andy. I'll refrain.
I've missed that. So I don't know if Captain can catch us up, but I've missed that. So if Jess has gone off, apologies.
Yeah, Tyson's. Yeah. And Leo.
I was paying attention to the chat and missed the comms for that moment. Ryan Nurse said Darren Ambrose went to his school. He held a couple of athletics records. There we go. Thank you, Captain. So Tyson, whoever that is, came on for Jess, and classback Jorgensen on for Leonardson.
Yeah, those who don't own him. Triple transfer. Yeah. So Hoyster gets 90 because they've done all their transfers apparently.
Yeah, transfers. He's still only going to get an average rating of 6. Doesn't matter how many minutes he plays. So I won't get too excited if you've got Hoyster. What's Andy Martin saying? Genghis Khan, a terrific player. Yeah, he's going old school, way back into time. Easy moment, Lee Hendry. He's playing a 1-2. Don't play a 1-2. Just have a shot. There you go.
Oh,
blocked by Emerson Tome. Oh, it's got an own goal.
Oh, own goal. Oh, own goal.
Lee Hendry shot deflected in by Emerson Tome.
Hopefully, Villa sit back now.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Dublin, is it? Straight swapping midfield for Sunderland. Medina on for McCann.
Greening subbing. No, I don't know.
Lundberg's cross from the right, and is Thierry Henry or an Eleutheropoulos?
That one for.
He's another goalkeeper. There's 3 or 4 sort of Greek keepers that are quite good on this game. Dionys Iotis is another one. At Matzidas, Eleutheropoulos. You kind of get used to like signing these players as a manager in this game. So I'm okay with the Greek goalkeepers.
Yeah. Got 4 minutes of hope to hope your players don't go off.
This is what we're hoping for now.
Arsenal into the bottom 2.
Daniel Holiday thinks Holmes' first return of the week. Minus points for an own goal, though, is it? Come on, one chop, get yourself under that rebound. It's Quinn. Who's Quinn for Man City?
He's a defender, isn't
he? Don't recognise a Quinn. We've got a regen or something.
Thought he was I might be wrong, actually. Let's have a look. Where's he playing?
Ronald saying Shiotis. Yes, mate. He's... When I used to do my Championship Amateur podcast from last season before I joined the Man On group, I had my thumbnail or my sort of visual for the pod was sort of a ChampMan visual, and Shiotis was my goalkeeper in that team. Yeah, he's probably my favourite goalkeeper in this game. Niall Quinn, someone's guessing. I don't think he was still around in this game.
Yeah, Johnson return. No. It's good save points in that Watford game if you've got him still.
And he might have with his midfield of Perez, Pedersen, and no extra. A bit like mine, mate. I've got Dyer, Tiato, and who's my other midfielder this week? Dyer, Tiato, and someone else who hasn't done anything. Veron. At least my midfield's expensive and done nothing. At least your 3 have not as expensive as mine. I suppose Perez and Pedersen are quite expensive. Veron is the problem right now, isn't he? Because, He's one of those that you just want to hold for the season for one and just leave him there as like an emergency captain or something. But it does test your patience with all these blanks.
Oaks is going for an assist. No.
One shot with a nod down.
Oaks almost got an assist there.
I can't remember what his final tally was. Subs here. McQuilkin for Haaland. That's a fullback off. That's okay. So
Flitcroft up.
Makin's a fullback, so they jumbled them round. So Makin will go to fullback, and Flitcroft, Haaland will just replace Flitcroft in the middle. Carl JB, is Hendry dead yet? Not that I've seen, mate. Amazing powers of fitness here from Colin Hendry to start at 76% and still be on. Yeah, a couple of the most expensive midfielders testing people. Obviously, Jansen's not done much. Pedersen's not done much. Veron's not done much. He's not been regular. Robbie Keane aside, he's obviously had a pretty good start, Robbie Keane, but all the other ones priced sort of 8 million or higher have been a bit disappointing, haven't they?
Yeah, Dyer got returned, didn't he? He's 8 million. Neither the Borough lads they've had I think has Zepeda had a return?
I don't think he scored yet. No. Certainly not a goal. Watford are going to finally score a goal in this week after taking him out. Well, last week I took him out.
Here we go.
This will be against the run of play. Or go on, give a pen. Oh no, you've been offside.
Not sure you want a pen, do you? You own a Borough. Right?
No, just for the comedy of it. The Borough dominated the game. Is this 360? Ice Miller gone off for Whelan.
Greening will be moving into midfield probably.
Or I think Whelan can play.
Oh, yeah, he can play central midfield, can't he?
So, yeah, I do think it'll be Greening that moves back. I think that is most likely, but maybe not. Elliot Lander, who is babysitting Erling. Was he even born yet in this game? I don't know. How old is he in real life, Erling Haaland? Is he?
Is he younger than me? I don't know. That'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Just going to see in the corner. Say former Liverpool man David Thompson is Lee Hughes again. On centre backs in there. Paul Williams. This is in, isn't it? Yeah.
The Lee Hughes assist.
Centre back goal for what a haul this is for Paul Williams. A goal and a clean sheet so far.
Yeah, Lee Hughes. I took him out, but at least we've had a goal for.
I don't think that Dudek was this bad when they took him off in the earlier game week to give Kirkland a start, and somehow Kirkland's getting kept on despite having an absolute shocker by the sounds of things at Highfield Road.
Campbell and Di Matteo just about make 60 minutes. They've just come off.
Here comes Leicester, another post 60. Daniel Sherman.
Young lad. Yeah. Savage has been pretty woeful today. He's probably heard that phrase many a time in his career.
Dribbler Joby, here he comes. Another one in consideration for my wild card next week as sort of a regular first sub or something. McAnuff.
Oh, Ipswich, who are we going to get?
And Pablo's gone up front. Still no Gary Doherty. They've turned to Pablo.
No, you don't. I don't think you don't see Doherty actually come on as a striker all that often.
Maybe that's a good thing if you own him, because at least you're not going to get on for 1 point.
No.
Carl JB say maybe Liverpool can get Brannigan on a rolling contract. Liverpool like signing people on rolling contracts and getting rid of them after the Colin Cooper situation. So maybe they'll get Brannigan in and do the same with him.
But we have a quiet few minutes for any of the big guns again.
I'm just pleased Dion Dublin's made it through to 60, to be fair. It gives me half a chance of getting the game through.
I'm verge of
Harry's Bradford Bolton still 0-0. Massive surprise there. And while he's found Pedersen.
Here we go.
Oh no, well over.
Can't hit a barn door.
Liverpool should. Liverpool will just play Biscan and Hippier at the back, and it'll probably be a lot easier. I don't think it's Cooper's fault. It's just blame the manager for they're not working out that Biscan's a better defender than Stephen Wright. You think it'd be quite obvious, really, but change for Leeds. Just a straight swap at right central midfield there. Bit more attacking, isn't he, Becker? He's an AMC right centre where Bowyer isn't. Don't know if that makes a massive difference, but maybe it will.
Don't know. Bowyer's quite good in game, really. He tends to put up some quite decent numbers when he actually can put together a string of games.
Yeah, he's been a massive underachiever.
For all the seasons, really. I think he's had some all right moments. I'm sure I can remember him doing well one week, but yeah.
Eric Onstad, Lee Hughes first on the bench, terrible decision. Yes, mate. I would highly recommend, if you're a new player, never bench a striker in this game. Certainly not one playing at home. Even if they play what you perceive to be a shit team in a bad fixture. Even if it's Zima Abbey at home to Man United, I would still play him.
Yeah, so would I.
Strikers always score in this game. You'll probably realise already most of the goals come from strikers. So I would, unless you've got a striker like a Rooney or something.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. I think if for those newer players, if you're going to wildcard soon, I think I would definitely go for 3 playing strikers and 3 starting strikers, especially.
I think that the ideal wildcard strategy is to try as much as possible to get a defensive midfield set as much as you can. And every week, just use 1 or 2 transfers if you fancy taking a hit, just to rotate your forwards. Give yourselves 30, 32 million for your 3 strikers. So I think at the moment my wildcard team had Phillips, Larson, and Christie, and I think that was about 31 million for them 3. That was my sort of preferred draft at the minute, and that gives me 31 million should give you enough scope to jump around to most, maybe not Van Nistelrooy, but it should give you enough scope to move around to most other premiums if they've got a good home game, and focus your transfers on shuffling your strikers, getting the one in who's perceived to have the best home game and captain them. And try not to really tinker too much with your defensive in your midfield. Just try and get as many sort of permanent holds as you can. So defensively, try and get those defenders that seem to be very good for bonus points, because that's quite reliable. If they happen to play for quite a good team as well, then more the better. I think a lot of people will be interested in Chelsea centre-backs for that reason. They keep quite a lot of clean sheets. And the defenders are quite good for bonus. It's another reason why Hippier tends to be quite popular. It's obviously not worked out in this game week. But over the course of a season, those sorts of players do sort of stand out. So I'd recommend 4 or 5 defenders of that type. It's Van Nistelrooy again. Let's not have a second goal. Good tackle, Steve Watson.
Yeah, I think with the strikers, I think someone at that sort of 6 to 8 million price point, you know, your Hughes, your One Shot, Christie, your Bolton boys, Jess, people like that, they're good people to cover, because in those good stretches of games, home games, they can actually put up some really, really good numbers in Sims, and they can match some of the big boys over. If you pick the right players, they can do really well.
I wouldn't put people off just putting Van Nistelrooy in there as a permanent hold, getting one other premium spot. That could be a Phillips, could be an Henry, could be a Shearer, and then one other cheaper spot. So you're only basically moving around the 2 other strikers, just permanently having Van Nistelrooy. I can see the logic in doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to try and have 2 premium spots that rotate. But I would definitely recommend not skimping when it comes to strikers. Chance for Roy Keane there.
Veron denied an assist there. I think
taking corners, interestingly, for Man United. At least he took that one. I don't know if Veron was meant to be on corners. It does seem like Veron isn't getting a look in on any set pieces in this game. I've barely seen his name. And that's a big issue, isn't it, if he's not taking set pieces? I know he still tends to get high average rate in bonus points, and his 20 long shots mean he can score quite a lot of goals still. But obviously, a team that scores 80 goals a season and he's on set pieces is a big string to his bow. If he has lost them, I think it makes him easier not to own moving forward. But
yeah, there's quite good set piece stats from quite a lot of people at United. Nedved's got some quite good stats. Pen stats like 20, I think, or something near that. So if he's not getting set pieces, like you said, it could be an awkward one for those people who own. But I still think he's a good hold permanently, personally. He's been save. 103 saves he's got.
This could be 3 save points the way this is going. It feels like definitely going to get 2 save points. He could be up to 3 save points here.
I've got 6 or 7 I've seen at least, maybe more.
Ryan Smith just bought Veron in on wildcard. It's not the worst though, mate, and because he's the most expensive midfielder going, he gives you the scope to get to anyone from him. So no one's out of reach when you've got Veron. No, and I didn't expect him to return quite a lot of points, but I do think he has the potential. If you want 2 premium strikers and Veron, it does leave you light in other places. But there's obviously ways to manage that. Depends if you want to prioritize. If you're happy to have quite a cheap defence, for example, I personally would like to have a couple of premium defenders because I think they are quite reliable, especially for bonus. But
news from Villa Park.
Sunderland. Foul by, but this is going in, isn't it? Phillips free kick.
There you go.
There we go. Kevin Phillips free kick. He's assisted himself as well. I don't know if he gets goals and assist points for that. I don't think that's how it works, is it? Yeah, no.
Like I said earlier, I think he's been overlooked a little bit, actually. His ownership's not massive, and I think he's a great player in game. And the Sunderland have some pretty nice fixtures coming up. It might be in a few weeks, to be fair, but I think he's a good player.
I think more than most, he has the potential to score in games you maybe don't have much hope in your striker scoring in.
Christie.
Double for Malcolm Christie a week before I wanted him. Now everyone's going to want him.
Should have gone for him.
There's 2 doubles now, isn't it? He scored 2 in game week 1, was it?
I think so, yeah. I toyed with getting him over one chop. I'm still happy that I didn't go for him, but
I think he was an interesting buy this week for people that wanted a cheaper, that wasn't playing to wildcard and needed a cheaper third striker for someone to hold for a few weeks. Like Lee Hughes was another candidate for that. Home game this week, Coventry's fixtures after aren't bad. And I think Christie was the other one. Clean sheet bank for Ricky Shimmicker owners, well played.
Yeah, Hendry's still on the pitch. He's passed out in the corner, but he's still on the pitch. There you go.
He's on at centre-back as well. Britton's gone off from the sweeper role, shall we call it? It's not sweeper, but he's the middle of the back three with the up arrow. Yeah. Looks like Doherty's going to play that role now. Spilt by Pullen. Luckily, Jamie Redknapp on hand, mopping up. Andy Martin's locking in Christie, Abbey and Hughes.
Good front three.
I can't wait to see that midfield, mate, if you go with that. What's that going to be?
Apparently we had a captain Christie punt in the chat.
Well played.
Nice punt.
Obviously, decided to take on Arsenal. Assist for GX, by the way. I don't think he's owned this season. But
he's not a regular starter.
The young Watford left back. Anyone that's got the young, I don't even know if he's been priced up. Probably not Morrison.
Or Greening.
Finnan. Whelan's up front, isn't he?
Yeah, 3 points banked for Greening owners.
Finnan is probably now playing left midfield, I would guess, which sounds weird because he's a right back in real life, but he's a defender or midfielder right-left on this game. So I'd imagine he's gone to the left, and that means that Johnston is now in the middle with Marinelli, would be my guess. And now Middlesbrough are now playing
as well. Yeah.
Graham S. Ricard's leaving his hat-trick pretty late.
Yeah.
They got a chance now. They're taking, obviously, the young left back at Watford's had a great game, and they've just taken him off and brought on the old left back who wasn't very good. Zepeda up front, maybe Don Shanley, I guess maybe, but I think Whelan's probably up front with Ricard. Zepeda stays out on the right.
In game, he could be up front. To be fair, one shot, first shot, no corner though. Zepeda could be up front actually in game, but he's probably not on the in there as a forward. But unlucky for those Greening owners really, because it's 6 million for a 6 million midfielder. It's come off.
Yeah, it's gone off. 2 points for a 16-year-old. I know we shouldn't listen to Mokoko's sim data. Look, everyone's jumped on average of about 9 points or whatever it was this week, and we get 2 and I would say an early sub. He's managed to make it beyond 60 minutes. But these are the risks you take, right? I didn't need to take that -4 to get him in. I could have just played Wally this week. But it's more fun having the players that you feel like can get double-digit returns, isn't it? I know anyone in this game, in theory, could get 10-plus points in any given week. We've seen numerous teams of the week with a load of randomers in there, haven't we? Where you wouldn't expect them to get like high scores. So anyone can do it. But obviously some are more reliable than others. And it's nice to have those players in your team on some weeks with some higher expectation. Here's Huckabee.
Get back crossbar, one shot rebound. No. Yeah, I think, like you said, it's one of those things with sim data, really. Like if you run your sims and you say pick your top 10 players of the week, odds are 5 or 6 of them are probably going to be up there with returns, but the odd one definitely won't be. And it's just how it is. It's a guide. But, on reflection, I'd have still gone for Tiato in a game like this. Could have easily gone the other way.
Shane McCarthy, what do you mean by in-game? Isn't it all in-game? It is all in-game, but obviously play stops in each match within this game week. So when a substitute happens, the play stops. And at that moment, the computerized managers do sometimes make some tactical tweaks to their team. Usually, in some cases, it means players shifting positions. We won't know that. We obviously only see the players in position at kickoff. But every time the game stops, in theory, people can move positions. And if you've got, for Arsenal, for example, today, you've got Ljungberg and Perez. Ljungberg started right midfield, Perez in the middle. But because they can both play in those two positions, every time the ball goes out of play, those two could switch, for example. And so right now, Perez could be playing right midfield for Arsenal, even though the pre-game sort of team sheet showed him playing central midfield. And Zepeda has that ability in game, or when that happens, to move to a different position. So that's what I mean by in game. Might not be the best wording for it, but say every time the ball goes out in a fixture, there is the chance that people could rotate positions and go and play somewhere else if they've got the ability to with their attributes. So a lot of players can only play in one position, but there are some that obviously can play midfield, striker, right, left, centre, for example, that can shuffle around.
Yeah, Court's gone off while you were talking.
Who's on?
Forgotten who for. Amiobi.
Amiobi, come on. Not my mate Holloway. I can't get through a stream. He didn't make the bench, did he, this week, unfortunately. I can't get through a stream without saying his name once.
He's a Carl Court, another Wolves, another ex-Wolves.
Not a good night for JJ here, a card captain for On Vice. Yeah, feel the pain, mate. I've got Dublin captain and one chop Vice. So I've got a return from the Vice, but it's not going to be a mega points, is it?
No.
The only good news here, none of the possible captains have really gone off. None of the big captain possibilities this week have scored 2, have they? That's the big upside here. If one of these gets another goal, a Van Nistelooy or a one chop or something, they'll be the big winners, won't they? The people that have got like Larson last week when he got the second goal late on. Yeah, I think one goal you can cope. If the difference is 1 goal to no goals, obviously it's still 7-8 point swing, but you can kind of deal with that. It's when your captain's got nothing and someone else has got 2 returns where it's obviously a bigger problem.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's no one, from what I can recall, Tiato did pretty well, but no one absolutely smashed Sims to the point where I thought they would.
The goal, Arsenal back to 3-2, ticking off, sneaking away Jose Reyes style down the left wing, and score. I'm not sure he got the assist for that. He'd done a lot of the work himself, I think. Maybe in Basidas. I think his name was involved somewhere in the build-up.
Yeah, it was Basidas.
Yeah. Carl was caught out by the Man United defence too many times. Yeah, Ronnie Johnson's got that offside trap mastered. That's why he's in the team over Rocco Jr. this week for that offside trap. Carl caught out there.
Yes, and well, still 0-0 Bradford Bolton. Probably the game I'd have expected to have a fair few goals in it, actually. Same with Middlesbrough Watford. They'd have definitely not been the 2 games that have gone for 0-0 at 76 minutes, but that's the game for you.
We're doing some more music references. Totally Addicted to Basidas. Who's done that song? Totally Addicted to Bass. I can't think of who that was. Might have been Girls Aloud, possibly. Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not going to win the music quiz.
Neil, that's not Henry who scored. No, this is the problem I find with Henry. Arsenal do score a lot of goals where he's not involved. I think other premium strikers do seem to be involved in a fair portion of their team's goals. Phillips tonight, obviously Newcastle. I think Shearer tends to be involved in a reasonable percentage of their goals. Van Nistelrooy, as you would have seen as well. Henry, as his wild moments, he'll go do nothing for weeks and score back-to-back hat-tricks. He's got the scope to do that, Thierry Henry, but it can be very frustrating as a hold. You do have to show quite a lot of patience with him, and it's really hard to when he's that price and other premium strikers are doing well around him.
Well, one of the nice things I like about Henry and Phillips and Ruud is that you can hold them through those away games as well. Because he tends to do all right away from home, Henry, but like you said, it's like buses, isn't it? You know, nothing for age and they'll come at once. That's how Henry is, and he can have some really good seasons. He has seasons where he's right up there for everything, but yeah, you've just got to show a bit of resilience. I think he'll be quite popular on wildcards soon, won't he?
I think he's definitely in the discussion to have on wildcard, and Jeffers. Pure Tone song Addicted to Bass, not Girls Aloud. Oh, nowhere, yeah. I'm trying to think of what Girls Aloud song I got confused with. That probably sounds of the Underground, which sounds nothing like it. Don't know. Anyway, we'll move on from that quickly. Move on.
My uncle was totally addicted to bass. Didn't sleep for 18
Yellow
hours.
card for Mark Viduka. I think I just missed. Doing far too much
Yeah,
time.
it was.
enjoying
Yeah, it was booking for Viduka. Right. Don't think won't be many owners will there anymore.
I need to pay more attention to actually what's going on the camera rather than music references. Look at the chat and just generally enjoying myself. Not doing a good enough job.
It's Gardner.
Still 0-0 in that game, Bradford Bolton. Snorrison, what a great name that is. Who's he?
Getting a Gardner assist? No, way off target.
Is that a new signing for Bolton? I missed that one. Who's he? Bless you, mate.
Someone in the room.
Yeah.
It's the dust gathering at Bradford Bolton with all the empty seats.
I should be ashamed of myself. Who's the donut now? Yeah. You have to forgive me for getting Pure Tone. I haven't got the greatest hits.
His parents watched Fame Academy.
I haven't got their greatest hits album, Pure Tone, so I don't remember all their good songs.
You have to tell me what Fame Academy is. And
That's another musical program that was on, a bit like X Factor and Pop Idol. It was a BBC, like X Factor and Pop Idol were on ITV. Fame Academy was the BBC version. Have you heard of the singer called Lamar? I think he come through Fame Academy.
I don't know. It might ring a bell.
Songs, Lamar.
No.
Snorrison's came on for Ramberg.
I'll have to ask him, Andy. I'll ask my dad later.
That Fame Academy. Scottish fella won it. Can't remember his name. He didn't amount to much. But Lamar, I think, did okay on there and then had a reasonable career afterwards. Ben Graham, that was their greatest hits album, that one song. Yeah, it probably was. Bradford's defence is asleep, allowing Snorrison in to win a header. Yeah, fair play to that one. Come on, Henrik. Let's have another late goal from you.
Kyle Larson.
Oh, these extra pauses. The extra long pauses always seem to be when it's my player having a shot.
I'm convinced they just pause the comms on purpose to get your hopes up.
Someone Snedden. That's it. Pep Talk's got it. I knew he'd remember. David Snedden. I think that was his name.
Here we go.
Stephen Hughes still on as well. Managed to get through the game with his orange flag. Oh, go on, Dyer. In you go, son. Oh.
Well, United are holding their clean sheet for those.
It's a shame a lot of people have got double ups. They've got Roque Jr. who's not playing, so they're going to get one lot of the clean sheet points.
We're on 3 points of those, so not too bad. It's a return at the rate he's going.
I don't think that justifies the price.
No, not quite.
You might get some bonus as well. Got to get a few late. All we got left 9, pretty much 10 minutes to go. You like to think we're going to get maybe 2 more goals. Someone's going to score in the 89th minute, aren't they?
Oh, in this game they do seem to all be coming at once. We go for a while without one, then we get a couple. So maybe we'll get a couple. Ruud will get something later on, as he tends to do.
Not the worst night for goals. I probably would have expected a bit more. So Everton and Ipswich wouldn't have been the teams I'd have marked down for 3 goals this week.
No. I've had a bit of good fortune. Ricard staying quiet is nice for us too. We'll be celebrating at 90 minutes.
I think I'll tolerate my doubling blank if Ricard does as well. I don't think I'll come out of it too badly. I've got goals for lots. I've had 3 strikers and I've captained the one that didn't score. The other 2 have both scored. Standard ChampMan luck, isn't it?
Yeah. I've had a fair few returns, so I'm not gonna gloat too much. Got a bit of good fortune.
Famous last word: United clean sheet wipe coming up. Of course, we know what's going to happen before the stream starts. So of course, there's a clean sheet wipeout coming for Man United. We've seen. We ran through this for an hour before it became live. We know what's coming. Don't think this is all that. Don't think we don't know.
How many of the 7 clean sheets will stay intact? Go on then, Craig. How many of the 7 will stay intact?
Then we just refer to the notes that we get sent before kickoff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, mate. I'm saying 6.
Oh, are you sure it's not a 0? It's a 0 on my notes.
Go on, Tarico. Goal and 2 assists. Oh.
It's got to be up there with the bonus points this week.
Craig, man, do you think Watford were playing defensive and men behind the ball? I don't think that was particularly attacking to start with. I don't think they'll go more defensive in game. They usually only react to when the goal goes in. Teams normally change their sort of mentality and things. The fact we haven't had a goal probably means they haven't changed their mentality would be my guess. I don't know for definite. But I still think Watford will be playing the same as what they've played all the way through. It's normally an incident like a red card or a goal that causes things to change. I've obviously not had that in that Middlesbrough game.
They'll be sacking their manager soon, Watford.
Jack Brockenshire's got Rickard and Dublin. Yeah, I think that's quite popular. You're unlucky to get 2 blanks from them too. Tarico owners fuming, Ollie. No, we got 2 assists, mate. We're not fuming.
No, not at all. No, he always has that temptation. It was I was toying between him and Hardison at the start of the season. I'm happy I went the right way, I think, actually. Although they're on for a clean sheet anyway, and he usually does quite well for bonus, so maybe he'll make up for 1 assist.
I think that, yeah, there's odd wing backs that I think naturally stand out. Obviously, Gardner's proven in the past how good he can be from wing back, but Tarico is another one. I've probably not seen the best of him yet. I've not seen him at his full capability. I think in the first 2 seasons, he is one of those that could end up with double figures for assists, isn't he, from wing back?
Yeah, he is. There's quite a few, actually. I don't think we've had that many of the fullbacks have the crazy seasons they can. Obviously, Hart hasn't played all that much. And did Festa have a good first season? I really can't remember.
He took a lot of pens, though, didn't he? His numbers were inflated by how many pens he took. I think he got about 7-8 penalties in season 1, Festa.
And Dean Gordon, when he starts, can be quite good, but he's not really a viable option anymore.
No, so it's always an interesting debate in my head, to be fair, if nothing else, between a team that's got a centre-back who's quite good for higher ratings and bonus, and in the same team as a wing-back with potential for attacking returns. So Ipswich are quite a good example with Hardison versus Tarico. And let's just have a look at what happens here with Robbie Fowler.
Save.
Oh, he's put it wide. So there's a few teams that have got it. I think Everton have got 2 more than capable wing-backs, McAteer and Naismith. But then there's Unsworth, who might take penalties and gets quite a good average rating. There's Bolton have got it a bit with, I think Gardner's a bit easier to own than some of their centre-backs, but their centre-backs aren't bad, Bolton.
No, Shimika's quite a good option. I like him.
And then Tarico v. Hardison's probably the toughest one of them all. I got punished massively in season 2. I had this exact choice and went McAteer over Unsworth, and literally the next game week, it's the week Unsworth scored the 3 penalties. So for my 50-50 call, I got 2 points, I think, off McAteer, and Unsworth got 21 from what seemed like a 50-50 decision. I guess in Unsworth's case, the penalties maybe swung it more in his favour. We don't get that in the Tarico Hardison debate, but it's a tough call between the attacking wing back and the centre back bonus beast.
Yeah, it is a tough one. Obviously, it depends on how you play the game. Really, I think you can kind of, if you go all fullbacks in your back 3, you could have double-digit hauls from all 3. You could get 30 points, or you could get 6. Whereas if you go for a back 5 of all bonus magnets, then you could easily get 6, 7, 8 pointers from all of them and 40 points. So it can go either way, can't it? So it just depends on your perspective on that matter.
Simon reckons I'm 190's music reference away from belting out Ace of Base. Yeah, that's all he wants, is me to sing Ace of Base. Save that for another week.
I'm bewitched with all these 90s references.
Ace of Base have got a couple of good songs, to be fair.
C'est la vie, who's that? Is that Bewitched? Or is
that is Bewitched, yeah.
Yeah, see? I know a little bit.
Have you to know the songs by the girl bands. I like it.
Oh, yeah, how many girl band references can we get?
Hang on, 2-footed challenge here by Gus Poirier on Eric Backer. Is it going to be a late red? No, only a yellow for a 2-footed tackle. This is 2003. Remember?
So, do we like these days? That'd have been a 10-match ban nowadays, wouldn't it? Come on, we've been nearly over 10 minutes since last goal.
No goals for 11 minutes. What a terrible ending to this game. Ricard's going to score at the end, in the end, just spoil it at the death for everyone. Well, for us.
Yeah, it's got to be something one sharp.
Where's this Watford possible clean sheet come from? What a holdout, 87 minute. Another decent point potentially here for Norwich. They were top briefly, weren't they? They obviously lost last week and got knocked off the top, but this would be a decent point for them if they can hang on. Got to get through this attacking phase though. Here's Anders Svensson. Oh. It's the other Man City winger. Of course it is. Everyone goes for Danny Tieto, and it's the other Man City winger.
Who got the assist there?
I don't think that was one shot. I think it was the young lad that replaced him. Yeah, it was.
That was.
Nicking Thiago's assist as well. Flower pot, man, thinking about bringing one chop in. I'm not sure it's a good time to bring him in, to be fair. These 2 games were the 2 good weeks for him. I think he's got Sunderland away next, and the fixtures after that aren't amazing. Obviously, he's a good striker. He's fairly nailed. So I won't say don't get him, but you probably missed the
you
peak
missed the boat.
to
I think Sunderland away is an all right game. It's not awful at all. Seen some numbers and does okay.
What a chance for Alan Shearer at the death. Dyer's cross.
He seems to be another one that's sort of disappointing a little bit at the start of this season, isn't he?
Who's this?
Shearer at moments. He's probably
not very unpredictable, aren't they? Newcastle.
Yeah, I always imagine from what you see, especially in season 1 Sims, you see Sheeran tick along quite well. He tends to be one of those that just, you can nab goals in any game. But then as time goes on, he seems to stop doing that. I don't know if there's a reason for it. I'm sure someone might be able to tell me. But he seems to slow down with his consistency as time goes on. He's still a good player in game, though.
This is all about the guy. Someone on the Spaces earlier was getting a train, they said, from Sheffield to Birmingham today, I think it was, or somewhere to somewhere. And they encountered someone playing this game on their train home. And strangely, the game that was being played as they walked past them was Newcastle Man United.
Yeah.
And apparently Man United won the game 1-0 and they joked about it. And what have you got here? Man United winning 1-0. I can't think
they saw Panda then, did they, on the train running the Sims?
Someone just generally playing off their own back, I think. They were talking about it on the train though. And yeah, Man United beat Newcastle 1-0 in this exact fixture. It was season 1 though.
Here we go, though, drama.
Oh, Barthez. Beltings. Beltings, what drama. Yucky, God, he's got to go now. Don't do it, Ruud.
Come on.
Ruud. Now, you pass it to Veron.
What a bore. He's fencing goal, and that's it.
One goal in the last 15 minutes. An absolute shambles.
Absolutely typical, innit? Absolutely typical.
There's still a chance. The donut. Is he going to score in the last minute? No, another. That's what we need. One more save for Heedman. I'm sure that's probably nabbed him another save bonus as well. Have another one while you're there. Come on. How have you got another clean sheet, Coventry? Absolutely. Well, I won't put it past him. That Mercer at Norwich was absolutely outrageous in the first game week and didn't even get a bonus point, did he? Did he make about 200 saves in game week 1? Yeah, it's poor from Veron. I think a lot of people will sell very soon because I can understand why he's testing people's patience. But
I think Chadwick's still quite a good alternative if you still want to cover your United midfielders.
Especially if he is on set pieces now. Come on, Dublin. Is there a chance for a late goal? Don't be a Sunderland attack. It's going to be a Sunderland attack. I'll kick it forward, Enkelman. He's done a Birmingham. Oh, Melberg. Peter Enkelman doing a Birmingham when he... Melberg threw it back. Have you seen that goal when he throws it back to Enkelman? It rolls over his foot and goes straight in from the back past throw.
Yeah, I think I used to like Melberg actually as a kid. I used to think he looked quite cool.
Arsenal going to somehow salvage something from this game. Here comes Tikhonov again, having a good game down that left side, isn't he? Tikhonov.
Yeah, they need to get out of the relegation zone, don't they?
Oh, Van Bronckhorst hit the cross. How many times has a crossbar been hit in this game?
No crossbar points.
At least it's usually people half volleying stuff. This week it's about 10 shots of it the post or the crossbar, I think. I mean, we're getting another goal there, are we? I think that's going to be it.
One more?
One chop, 2 chop he's going to be. He's going to be 2 chop here, is he?
Come on.
We're on 2 chop. There he is.
Come on. Gosh, hates.
What is he doing, Captain? What is he doing? He's mugged us right off, hasn't he? Here comes Norwich making a late sub. My best mate Marchant's come on to play wing back for the last 2 seconds. He'll get his appearance fee though, won't he? No way. No way. No way.
Come on.
No way. Who's onto the rebound? Come on, captain. I love that. I love that. You got to applaud that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, chat loves it. The chat loves it. Oh, there you go. We can breathe.
Misery.
No Rickard return.
Perlo's beard. 90% of this stream has been Craig asking Deacon if he's seen things that happened in the 90s. Not been that bad, has it, mate?
Actually, happened in the early 2000s, and I can't remember any of it.
When you've got a youthful person on with you, then you maybe the tone changes a bit. Let's just quickly run down the scores or get ready for the bonus points to come in. Don't leave the stream yet because you still might get another 15, 20 points onto your game week totals here in bonus points. More than possible. So we've got Aston Villa 2, Sunderland 1, Bradford 0, Bolton 0 to a big surprise. Didn't see that coming. Coventry 3, Liverpool 0, an even bigger shock there. Everton 3, Arsenal 2, Ipswich 3, Leicester 0. Big haul for Tarico there in that game. Clean sheet and 2 assists. Man City 2, Norwich 1. Then I don't know what the biggest surprise of this fixture is. Bradford, Bolton 0-0 or Middlesbrough, Watford 0-0.
That's a pretty big surprise.
Not
a single 0-0.
4 game weeks, still haven't scored yet, but maybe turn of fortunes there. Newcastle 0, Man United 1. Van Nistelooy over customary goal, settled that one. And then Tottenham 2, Leeds 2. Let's wait for the bonus points to come in.
While you do that, I've got to do a favour. The missus wants to take her makeup off, so I'm just going to go give it to her.
The bonus points are coming in, mate. Wait a minute. Yeah, decent haul. Fair points in the chat. Above average FPL, 4 or 5 clean sheets. I think that's pretty standard. FPL Penguin double borough defence. Yeah, I think that double up would have been quite popular on Joe Southgate. If we get some bonus points, I was thinking the second as well.
Gotta be the good Samaritan.
Oh, yeah. Let you come on stream for a couple of hours. The least you can do is let her take her makeup off.
Yeah.
Murphy, Tarico first sub, absolutely bloody nightmare. I'd love to see your starting 11 if you was benching an attacking defender in a home game. So, yeah.
Lots of people, the chat blows up right at the end, doesn't it?
They're still top of the table, Ben Graham. Yeah, of course they are. Best team in the land, aren't they? Of course they're top of the table. If only this was real life. David H. Nice to see she made the effort for the stream, Deacon. She's not going to come on in the background, though.
No, I'm not going that far, but I think she wants to go to sleep.
Yeah, you've only got 10, 15 minutes to hang on now, and then we'll start getting the bonus points in. So Aston Villa is in. Aston Villa 2, Sunderland 1. 1 save point for Peter Enkelman.
There's your double input bonus.
Yeah, 2 bonus points for Dion Dublin. Not the worst returning. So what's that? 4 double to 8 for me for Dublin captain. Melberg with a man of the match performance. 3 bonus, and then 1 bonus each for Barry, Boateng, Issa, and Phillips. Issa's the cheap defender I've got on my mind maybe for wildcard next week. He's 4.5. Yeah. I think he's a possible candidate who can get bonus clean sheets and a bit of everything. Melberg, 10 headers, 7 key one tonight in that game, 9. Him and Dublin both got a 9, strangely. Dublin won 10 of 18. 7 key headers for Dublin as well. So decent performance from Dublin, just no goals to show for his 2 shots.
Bradford Bolton's also in.
Got him, mate.
Save points each way. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the Bradford keeper.
Peggy RFX said he played better this week. Fair play to the manager for persevering because he got an average rating of 3 last week. But he kept his place despite that, and he's been rewarded with a clean sheet.
Yeah, save point each way, and then 1 bonus for Gunnarsson, UC, DeVos, 300-year-old Colin Hendry, and Ricardo Gardner.
Played the whole game and got bonus points.
Brooms with 2 and Walsh with 3. Not that anybody owns any of those.
So it is 3 save points for Magnus Hedman. So that's in. Or Heedman. Sorry, got it wrong again. Apologies to everyone in the chat who's offended. So Coventry 3, Liverpool 0. Heedman 3 save points and 2 bonus points. An 11-point haul for a goalkeeper. What a haul that is for Heedman owners. Paul Telfer with man of the match for his goal contributions. And Lee Hughes also with 2 bonus points. But 11 points. That's anyone that started with Heedman's had a ridiculous start, haven't they? That's outrageous. He must be on about 30 points already, isn't he? Through 4 game weeks or something.
Must be. Must be
More points than Veron, I think.
more points than a lot of people. Everton, Arsenal. Go on, go. Everton keeper's name.
Aletheropoulos.
Save point for him and Westerveld. 2 bonus for Unsworth and Tikhonov and Malcolm Christie with all 3. So whoever captain Malcolm Christie, who I cannot remember who it was, has had a good day.
What's that, 13-pointer, is it? 2 goals and the max bonus?
Yeah,
good goal for Christie. Yeah, Tikhonov looked like he was involved. Not surprised he's contributed to the bonus there. The Thierry Henry owners, I'll put you out your misery for his contribution. Let's see what he actually did in this game. Arsenal actually had 11 shots, 7 on target. So it wasn't the worst performance from Arsenal, to be fair. Henry, 3 shots, 2 on target. Average rating of 8. It's a problem with Arsenal players, though. Sometimes average rating of 8 isn't good enough to get any bonus points. Someone got, I think it was Heath at Leicester last week, got man of the match with an 8. And Henry tonight's got an 8 and got nothing. So one of those things to be wary of.
Yeah.
Pick players from the right team sometimes, because some teams have just got, Leicester being a prime example, haven't got a lot of players capable of getting 9 average ratings. So an 8 sometimes, if you play for them, is worth a lot more than an 8 for someone else.
Ipswich Leicester's in.
Cool. Oh, hey, there we go. Max bonus for Tarico. Hey.
Good stuff.
So, and then 2 for the other wing back. So a good game for the wing backs there for Ipswich in this game. Clapham with 2 bonus points. We were talking about Tarico versus Hariderson, weren't we? Hariderson's got 2 bonus points and also 2 for Alan Armstrong. So Ipswich have taken everything from that game. Tarico 3, Clapham, Hariderson, Armstrong 2 each. How many's he got? Tarico, clean sheet, bonus points, that's 9. And then 2 assists. 15, is it? Is it 3 for an assist for a defender? Kind of lost a little bit.
Yeah.
So it might be a 15-pointer from Tarico there.
Man City Norwich is in, so Mercer with 2 save points, and then bonus for Howie, Hurtado, Svensson, Huckabee, Halland and Hopkins, McNamara with 2 and 1 chop max bonus. So those captainers very happy. Me being one of them, so it's good stuff.
Well, you got 9, is that for 1 chop?
Yeah, it'll be 9. Yes, not bad. Not a bad little. And I got some good returns. A big good week for me. I'm not sure what I'm on, but been a decent week.
A lot of the popular players, maybe not Tarico, but I think 1 chop. To be fair, I think his ownership coming into this week was only about 11% 1 chop. Obviously, he would have been bought in. There have been quite a few transfers in this week, bearing in mind the fixture. But maybe he's not as highly owned as you possibly think he might be.
No,
It's been a good 2 weeks, so it's been a good transfer for me, that one. Getting him in for Helgeson. That couldn't have gone a lot better for me these last 2 game weeks.
Yeah, you're right, 11%.
Yeah, that was before tonight, though, I think. So I imagine that's gone up a little bit. Fantasy Connection, Mauricio Tarico, still no Olivier Bernard. Yeah, Bernard got a 21-pointer, didn't he? So, I feel let down, mate, that we only got 15 off Tarico. I think that Hall makes up for me captaining the wrong person, though. So you might be getting the updates faster. Your mind's taking a little bit of time.
Just using the ones on Twitter. They're coming through on my phone.
Okay, you've seen them all before me so far, so mine are just a bit slow coming through.
Yeah.
I've got far too many screens and tabs and stuff open. Maybe it's slowing my computer down. FPL Racer went for the wrong keeper. Yeah, I think we all did, mate. Or anyone that went Sereni. To be fair, Sereni hasn't done bad for us. He's got save points and bonus points a lot of weeks. Just hasn't got the clean sheets. But this isn't going to keep on, I don't think, for Coventry. I think people have maxed out a little bit on what they're getting out of Heedman. So fair play to them. They took the risk. But this is quite hard to expect to continue. You're not going to get 3 save points and max bonus every week.
No. But Borough Watford is through as well. 2 bonus for Atherton, Southgate, Zapeda, whatever. Rickard, Atmatzidis and Williams all getting 2, and Honcho max bonus and 2 save points for the Watford keeper. So not a bad day at the office for Honcho owners that seem to be edging.
He got his yellow, didn't he? But it's a small blip. Yeah, he's done better. I think he's out bonus Southgate in all their games so far now. So that was a big 50-50 call at the start. It's only a small difference in points, but it's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is something. Yeah,
but I like both maybe going forward. Ricard matched Dublin as well, 4 points with no attacking returns. Luke Chadwick man in the match in the Man United game. That's just come in as well. Decent haul for Luke Chadwick. And 2 bonus points for Given. Decent game. Steve Watson, guard, so done all right. Newcastle defenders. 2 bonus points for Kieran Dyer for me. And then Johnson, Ekiog, and Van Nistelooy, all with 2 bonus points. My defence is doing all right here. Honcho, Tarico, Ekiog, all in the bonus. This is what you want from your defenders, aren't you? Pick the defenders to get bonus points, and then anything else you get is sort of a bonus. Shay Given also, sorry, forgot to mention 2 save points. So not bad for Given there. 2 save points, 2 bonus points, and an appearance.
Yes, Spurs, Leeds, and Perry, Rebrov, Decor, and Larson with 1 bonus. Viduka 2, and Davies and the maximum, and Sereni with a save point. So yeah, bit decent for Larson owners.
So only 3 points then. Say nothing on Heedman's 11, but again he's got something out of the game. Yeah, not bad for Larson. No one's really so Henry, just the 2 points and no bonus or attacking returns. But I think most of the popular ones have got something. Ricardo and Dublin have got some bonus points. Engel got an assist. One Chop got a goal and some bonus. Larson a goal and some bonus. Van Nistelrooy a goal and some bonus. Pretty much all the popular strikers have got something, haven't they, this week? Just a shame that I captained the one who got the least in Dublin, and obviously someone else, well, quite a few people captained Ricard. So, if Teachvo took Chadwick out for Tiato for a hit.
Unlucky that. But yeah.
Kept all because he didn't want to waste his free transfer. To be fair, he did get a clean sheet, and this is the first week, to be fair. I'm a big fan of defenders in this game, but my defenders haven't really delivered very much yet.
No.
But yeah, decent night tonight. Someone's also mentioned Fantasy Connection. It would have been quite a good week to play the bonus point chip.
Would have been quite a good week, actually.
Play the bonus. Well, it depends what you've got, obviously. But yeah, I think it feels like at least like 7, 8 of my players are in the bonus this week. So
yeah, same for me.
If you're getting 20 points of bonus, team of the week is up. So it's Headman in goal with 11, Heedman in goal with 11. Then the defence is Paul Williams, 12, Tarico, 15, and Walsh of Bradford with 9. Plenty of others got 9, I think, as well. Well, did Ekiog get 9? He got 8, maybe. Midfield, Davis at Tottenham with an 11-pointer. Telfer, 14 at Coventry. Chadwick got 9 at Man United. Luke brought him in. Luke the Sable, top of the game, gets Chadwick in, not over Tiato. Big swing there for that move.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll call it Jam. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? It's not really Jam. And then Tickenoff got 9. And then up front, Lee Hughes, 10-pointer. Malcolm Christie, 13. And One Chop 9. So highest score of the whole week is Tarico with that 15-pointer.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
I think that's everything. I don't think we've got anything else to cover in the chat. I think we've gone through all of that. Thank you for coming on, mate. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Cheers. Thank you. I've enjoyed it. It's been good fun. Just about got through it without embarrassing myself too much.
Well, we'll let the audience judge how much you embarrass yourself. But, it's not for me to judge, mate. No, it's good. Give it half hour, guys. I think usually about 11 o'clock we get the updates on site with how many points you've got. So
yeah,
probably won't be updated yet, but hopefully by 11. I imagine most people are probably, I imagine that a score in the 70s is probably fairly normal this week for given how many clean sheets there've been and attacking returns and stuff. I imagine a lot of people have done fairly well, where the average has been more 40-50, I think, for the first couple of weeks. This one, I'd imagine, will be a bit higher.
Yeah, potentially. It depends, I think, which... Yeah, but yeah, good week in the end.
Yeah, so yeah, normal rules. So Sunday evening will be the live stream, I'd imagine, with Captain or Panda, Andy, whoever's on there this week. Probably a little recap of this week and then a preview for game week 5. The usual man on Sim Data pod will be out on Sunday morning. I imagine we'll record that tomorrow and put that out Sunday morning, me and Martin and Darren. So look forward to that. I'm sure you'll release some stuff next week as normal, Deacon, with your little crew.
Yeah, not sure what we're doing yet, but we'll have a think of something fun to do. If anyone's got any suggestions, drop me a DM on Twitter or something, and I'll take those on board.
We might do another pod as well, me and Martin. We've spoken about it because I'm pretty sure I'm wildcarding, and I think Martin is seriously considering it as well. So we may do a second ChampMan pod this week after the Sim preview, talking a bit more about wildcard and players and strategies and thoughts around that. Probably just a little bit of a chance to sort of clear our brains. So that may happen sort of Tuesday time next week. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I think we're all good. So yeah, thanks for joining, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
See you all next Thursday. Well, no, we'll be on next Thursday. I doubt it'll be us two again.
No, it won't be.
no. So two other new faces maybe next Thursday, or Martin will be back, I'd imagine. But yeah, thanks everyone. Hope you had a good evening.